right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Psychos Platters, always powered by coffee, each and every time. Today we're calling it the Saturday Night Special. Um, Not the midnight special that's shining down on me, but the Saturday Night Special, whose barrel is is steel and blue and cold. I always like that song from Skinner. I like uh, I like a lot of music. What can I say? I try to keep my ears open and everything. But I thought I don't even know. I know that what is it? Mayo was on earlier. I don't know if he's still on. But I figured, you know what? I'd give him plenty of time to yippee yap. I figure, maybe we run out of steam. I don't know. But here we are on a Saturday night, at least for a little while, guys. I thought, I won't be on too long. Maybe I'm shooting for 90 minutes at the most. That would be really nice, I think. And hello to the few people that are coming into the room here. Um, so let's see. Before I get any more in here, um, I have prayers to ask for, please. Hey, how you doing? How are you doing? Hey, you know what? I'm all right. I'm just tired a little bit, Dave. I think we all get that. We all are like that, right? Especially after putting in. My days aren't bad at work; they're just long. I feel sometimes like I run a marathon. That's what it feels like uh, at times. And but you know what? That's okay, I guess, right? I mean, at least that means I keep going. Somebody said I should go off and get one of those stepometers. Stepometers? Does that sound right? I don't know. Um, but just to see how many steps I really put in a day, because I got 28,000 square feet of shopping space, and that's when I'm going around and around and zippity doo through the aisles and all that other shit. So, um, sorry, I'm just alerting a few people that I'm on. So, I mean, I'm just trying to keep things going. My procedure will be in about 3 weeks. Um, and normally, I wouldn't ask for them to find something. I'm kind of hoping they do, okay? Because I just don't understand why my stomach is the way it is, okay? And, sure, I don't lead a very good dietary lifestyle, but I mean, I've learned through trial and error there's certain foods I can't have ever again due to my acid reflux. So I stay away from that stuff. But I guess I don't eat very very well, especially when it's a brown sugar pop tart. But like I said, I gotta have something to go with coffee, which is what I'm powered by each and every time. Greg, how you doing? How you doing, buddy? And I also, once again, guys, I'm sorry I'm not in the other room today. Son went and I love him, but he gets a little strange. He goes off and makes um, different spice combinations. So he had a coffee grinder of his, and there's bottles and jars and shit all over my record thing. So I'm not gonna play with that today. That's why we're here in the Mighty Psychos bedroom. Hey, long time no see. And oh, it's gonna be colonoscopy endoscopy. That's what I'm doing. And then September 1st is neurology. That's what I'm up at the moment. Although I think I got to go see my cardiologist at the end of August too. So look at you guys. Thanks for coming on by. We'll try to make this a little more interesting here. But enough of me, right? Enough of me. Um, Lots of different things, going on in the music world, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. In a minute or two, I'll drop an invite for people to pop on by, of course. But so let's see here. Rest in peace. There you go. Hi, hi. This is my Arkansas bestie. is Donna Joe Cat Lady. Rest in peace. This was from a few days ago. To Manny Charlton from Nazareth, dead at the age of 80. Oh boy, Nazareth, one of my favorite 70s bands. I mean, everybody went off and heard Love Hurts. That's always played on the radio. And my FM station used to play Hair of the Dog, which I always thought for many many years it was Son of a Bitch. That's what I thought that title was. I'm like, I remember going to my record store and go, hey, I need that Nazareth album that's got Son of a Bitch on it. And of course, Skip kind of chuckled at me and he's like, no, 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 no. It's called Hair of the Dog. And I'm going, oh, killer track. But you see, they had other great stuff like This Flight Tonight and Holiday and My Love Leads to Madness and goofy ones like Pop the Silo and, a lot of goodies there. I'll tell you that right now. The only time that I had a chance to see him was in, I think it was '98. They had an album out on CMC International called Boogaloo, which the radio was playing When the Lights Go Down, which is an excellent song if you've never heard that. It's a nice slow burner of a tune for Nazareth. When you get Dan McCafferty's whiskey throated voice, hey, and all Pitchfork was amazing. Now, live at Pitchfork was amazing. Nice. I heard live was an excellent live band. And then who to find out was huge fans of Nazareth was everyone in Guns N' Roses because Guns N' Roses, I can't remember if they cut their concert short or they did something, but needless to say, in the front row when Nazareth was performing, all the members of Guns N' Roses, this is a late 80s story, was there watching Nazareth. And I think even McCafferty was a little spooked out about this. He's like, what the hell is this? I did the same thing, Paul. The guy at the record store is, oh, I know. Well, it is. But hey, Tom, how you doing? The gang's all here. So that's one. The other one is John Gray. And I know people are like, who's John Gray? Well, this almost slipped under my radar too. But he was a member of Bill Haley and the Comets from 1960 to 68. And then he came back in the early 70s for a little bit. So he pretty much is on a handful of the Warner Brothers records. And then the mid 60s stuff that was on Orpheon. I don't know if I'm getting that right. That was the Mexican label that they were on in the mid 60s. So, but he passed away this week as well. The one that threw me for a loop, and I only found out about this minutes ago before broadcast, is that even though this happened in June of 2021, Al Rappa died. Now, I didn't know about that. He was the bass player from 59 to 69 for the Comets. And he was on the last album on Decca called Simply Instrumental. And so he was on that through all the Warner Brothers stuff. And then, like I said, he was there for 10 years. So there's like over 100 members that were Comets at one point or another. But I don't know what it is about Bill Haley and his music. I'm on a fan group over there on Facebook, and I got several wonderful recommendations for a Bill Haley box set. And I know there's a book that came out on him too. I can't remember if it was his kid that put it out or what. But needless to say, no, sorry, hang on. I almost screwed up here. Almost. But I'm going to plop this up here. And then we will go from there. So I don't have very much in finds per se, okay? But I'll show you what I got. One of my local record outlets, they have gotten a lot more vinyl, especially in the last few weeks. I showed everybody in the last broadcast a handful of albums that I picked up, like that Monkees original first album, First Press, the Chad and Jeremy Cabbage and Kings, Isley Brothers, this old Heart of Mine, and one other one too. Oh, Steve Miller Band from the late '60s that I never had a copy of. So Sailor, that album. So I thought that was pretty damn cool. So I wasn't there for a couple weeks. I thought I'd go again, and somebody went off and dumped a bunch of bootlegs of several different bands. Now the thing is, hey Tino, how you doing? I think I responded to one of your posts today. Jeff, how's OKC? Ah, look, we have all these wonderful people. So the pricing that these guys do just gets to be a bit much. Sometimes it's 99-cent shit, which it could either be beat to holy hell or it could be really beautiful and you're going, why is it 99 cents? I think some people just don't get how to price these records. And I ain't complaining, especially in the 99-cent stuff. But if it's like, I've seen them go 24.99, for example, uh, for the Buster soundtrack, only because Phil Collins is on it. And I'm going, are you kidding me? So to go through, and like I said, there was a bunch of bootlegs, and to get this double album bootleg from REM, Georgia Peaches Ripe. See, I even kept the 99-cent sticker. Here's the front. Here's the back. Now, it was recorded. It says live at Tyrone's, Athens, Georgia, January 10th, 1981. And like I said, this is a double album, and they both are clean, and the labels match to what they're supposed to. Of course, it's not a gatefold. It's both of them are shoved in here. So, but yeah, 99 cents for a near minty REM bootleg. I will not pass that up anytime at all. So, see, grab them. That's right. That's one thing, to tell you the truth, that I've never really had that many bootlegs. But any record collector that's been around for a bunch of times, for a long time, remembers their first bootleg. Now, for me, go figure, I had a Stray Cats bootleg. It was recorded on my birthday, September 27th, 1982. So I was 15, and it was a double album Stray Cats. And I found this thing dirt cheap. The sound quality, I remember, was half decent. So that was my first one. And then I found like a Cheap Trick. It was the complete Live at Budokan. Because as you guys know, the Live at Budokan that was put out was not the whole show. I think it was like 3/4 of the show or something like that. So it was kind of neat to hear the extra stuff. And you're like, oh, you're so used to hearing that album. And oh boy, here comes the joke. I lost because I couldn't concentrate. Yeah, that's an appealing job. Sometimes and you know what, Greg, you're right. And sometimes I still find some good ones for a buck. Yeah, you know what? What was it? We didn't have peaches over in. Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff. Geez, I didn't know you were there. Unless you just popped
Hey,
up. Here's my
what's up?
yes.
What's
Hi.
up?
Sorry, were you sitting for a while? Because I
Oh
just
no, just
noticed.
a few minutes. It's been a
Okay.
while. I'll go see what everything's going on.
It's been a while.
Hmm.
Yeah, with the inflation, anything at 99 cents, you ain't that the truth on that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That is the truth. But I'll probably, I don't know, hell, maybe I'll go back. Maybe I'll go back next week and go see. I don't like to go there a lot because most of the time the vinyl is pretty stagnant. But when I'm like going, oh, wait a minute, there's like 7, 8 boxes. That means they got some shit. And
Hmm.
that's why I got to look at, oh, you got a lot of Janice bootlegs?
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. I did not really know that they, you know, I'll tell you this. I think I've seen a lot of, but never really owned. A lot of Grateful Dead and a lot of Kiss bootlegs.
Mm.
I didn't have either of those on vinyl, but somebody gave me a crap ton of Dead and Allman Brothers and Little Feat live shows, and I have. Oh yeah, the Get Back on the Swinging Piglet. Isn't that the TMOQ trademark
Mhm.
equality? I don't know if I'm right on that one.
Mhm.
You picked up a Killer Chuck Berry today.
Chuck Berry.
Oh, good for
Okay.
you. Dave, which one was it? I'm curious.
It wasn't
'Cause
my that thing.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking
So
about.
uh, I've got what is it? I've got a couple Beatle bootlegs. Um I got that John Lennon album, um, Teddy Boy. That's the name
Yeah.
of the album, which of course it shows a mid 60s shot of John, and it's a color shot, slumped on the floor with this big ass teddy bear.
Mhm.
Seriously. And what it was a lot of John solo stuff, like the
Yeah.
concert stuff mixed with that's when I found out that he made the radio appearances in Philadelphia and played the
Mhm.
DJ and did all this other stuff and what was it when he was on Monday Night Football with
WNEW.
Howard Cosell?
Mhm.
That was on this
Yeah.
vinyl too,
Mhm.
and
Oh yeah.
and there
I think
was
I had that one. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And so that was the first John bootleg I had, and then I had Shay the Good Old Days was what it was called, and it was the cover was kind of cheaply done, but it was an alternate take butcher shot, which I'm going, oh, I like this right off the bat. But it turned out that it wasn't Shay at all. It was them at the Sam Houston Coliseum
Okay. San Antonio.
from I think 65.
Mhm.
So I'm going, well, this is weird. And then I think that's pretty much it for vinyl bootlegs in my,
Mhm.
and I don't have all of them anymore. I kept the Beatle ones, but like, oh, and I found a Monkeys one.
Mhm.
That one was strange. If it was near me, I'd go grab it. Maybe next broadcast.
Okay.
Contrudo would be good.
Mhm. Now I don't
Uh,
have any new music, but I had a couple of new books I got recently.
is that right? Well,
And
what you got?
let me show you. I got this book. I love this. I got this for Father's Day, and I'm rereading it for the second time.
Oh, I didn't know there was a book
There are
for that.
three Holly's books out, and this is the
Oh,
best one. This one's for England. It's very good. And let's see if I can find you a picture or two. Well, here's a kind of an ad for like the, yeah,
oh, nice on the single scene.
yeah. Hmm.
Yes, yes. I think their best years, truthfully, was with Graham Nash. It's
Oh
like
yeah. Hmm.
the minute he left. I mean, they still kept having hits, of course,
Yeah.
but it wasn't the same.
But it's
It
a
just
great
wasn't.
book, and I like that so much. I was digging around looking at secondhand bookstores, and I picked something up for about $4. I went ahead and got Graham's book.
Good book. I
Hmm.
read that. I'm
Hmm.
trying to remember. I
Hmm.
think I got it
Hmm.
uh, Barnes and Noble on
Yeah.
clearance. That's how I
Hmm.
grabbed it. But
Hmm.
yes, excellent book for
Yeah.
him. See, that's funny. So we'll segue to what I got in the mail yesterday.
Yeah.
Now, I'm still waiting for some of my other music related stuff to come,
Me too.
but let me just read you where this came from, this priority mail from LG out of Rochester, New York. Anybody care to take a guess who LG from
Okay.
Rochester, New York is?
Hmm.
Born and raised. He formed his first band from a lot of people out in Rochester before he ended up going to bigger and better things. And the last time he was in the public eye, per se, was 2017, 2018,
Hmm.
when
Okay.
his band that he was in decided to bring the original lineup back along with them on the road.
Hmm.
Mr. Lou Graham
Lou
himself,
Graham. Okay. Okay.
Jukebox
Yeah.
Hero,
Yeah.
and
Autographed?
yes, he'll
Mm-hmm.
personalize.
Mm-hmm.
To Paul, best to you. Lou
Mm-hmm.
Graham, I cannot wait to read this, to be honest, because let's see, how old is this book? Okay, the update was 2019 because it has
Mm-hmm.
it has an updated edition. So it originally came out in 2013, get it updated 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So the last thing I truthfully heard about him, and maybe this changed, I don't know, but Lou was talking about. Hang on, I got to settle in here. Lou
Okay. Go
was
ahead.
talking about before the COVID shit hit that he was going to do one last solo album because Lou Graham does still do stuff with his band,
Yeah.
but that he and Mick Jones were in touch that they were going to do a crossover. Mick and Lou were going to write and perform a song on Lou's solo album, and I guess Mick Jones has got one that's been brewing for a few years, and
Mm-hmm.
Lou was going to come over to mix and do a song. So that's about as far as it was going to go. I really wish I could have seen that reunion tour in 2017, 2018. I've seen clips, and now that Ian McDonald is dead, and they're starting to go too.
So does Foreigner still exist?
You know what? Okay. Anybody here in the peanut gallery, I'll ask you this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The last time that I saw Foreigner was 2005, so that was quite some time ago. But
Yeah.
I was told that since about maybe 2015 that he does not do the whole concert, or he may not show up at all now, Mick Jones, because I remember for like one tour, he didn't come on till the fourth song. And I'm going, okay, well, I knew he had the heart trouble and everything, but I'm just like, I don't know. There's an excellent interview show. Oh God, it's out of Canada. Rock History with John. I can't remember his damn last name. Hang on a minute. I apologize. I hope you weren't waiting too long either.
It's Beans.
Kevin.
No, I just popped in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay.
Now you said who? Now Paul, just a second. You said who died? Ian McDonald?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a couple weeks
because
back.
he was in the original King Crimson.
Yeah, that was a couple years
Greg
ago.
Lake
Yeah.
was like 18 or something. That was like late 60s. He was, I think, may have been one of the oldest members of the band, or the original band.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Foreigner is still around.
Okay.
Just, I mean, Mick Jones is the only original guy.
Okay.
But he kind of he's kind of in and out because he's had some problems the last few years.
So is Foreigner kind of like the Beach Boys? No.
No, it's worse. It's like Leonard Skinner. It's like there's one guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that the next tour, John Bowden. That's it. Thank you, Tino. That Bevan is going to be in Foreigner.
Oh, it's EL4 there. Yeah. Okay.
See, we gotta throw Bevan there somewhere.
He's been everywhere.
Yeah. They're like 6 months away from becoming Bevan's Foreigner.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Oh my God.
Or Foreigner Part 2. That's what they'll call it.
Okay. Look. All right. I know. Look, I know ELO Part 2 was a musical abortion, except they got it right on one song.
Yeah.
Calling All Honest Men. That song was as close to I mean, it's if Jeff Lynne, was on there, it would have been superb. But when I
Yeah.
heard that song the first time, I mean, obviously I knew Jeff wasn't singing it, but I remember hearing that on the radio. I'm like, who the hell is this? I said, because they sure sound a lot like ELO. And then the DJ goes on and goes, that was ELO Part 2. I'm going, wait a fucking minute. ELO Part 2.
Part
What the hell
2
shit
when
is
after.
that? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh look, he says what was that during the choir part for I Want to Know What Love Is? Is that what you're talking
Yeah.
about?
Mhm.
Because I think they bring in local
Mm-hmm.
whatever the kids to sing. That's
Okay.
nice if that's the case.
Mhm.
And that's the thing though. I get where you're coming from, Dave, on the sentiment, but when you love a band so much, yeah, I know. There's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
many. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a strange thing. It's like if you love the band and to be honest, like most of the public doesn't even know who's in the band to begin with. So,
Yeah.
most of the people are just like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
like Hot Blooded, Jukebox Hero, I love those songs. I'm gonna go see them. They don't know that there's nobody there from that lineup,
Yeah, from the early days.
Yeah, I was right.
I think the first lineup of Foreigner had like 8 members or something. Had a bunch of members.
Yeah, it was like
First
I
album.
think like somewhere between like 6 and 8
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, those first 3 albums are so with that lineup, that 6-man lineup was so great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've never heard why they decided to let Ian go and the original not the original bass player. He was already out by Head Games. Rick Wills came in for that.
Rick Wills, yeah.
But Ian McDonald and oh God, somebody else got fired from that band because
a couple of them.
Then what happened was him and the original bass player formed a little AOR band called Spies, which I actually have that stuff on vinyl. It's not bad stuff, it's just different. But yeah, I mean, Foreigner 4 was like the last really great record in my opinion, because then after that, sure, there's other good stuff on all the other albums, but so let's see here. On Thursday, I toured the David Letterman building at Ball State at Daughter. Oh, nice.
Great.
Nice.
Going to college. That's
so
good.
let's see.
Yeah.
But
by the time they got to like Agent Provocateur and like Inside Information in like '87, it was kind of like obvious. It's like this band's kind of falling apart, But they were still like platinum album. They were still a huge band, so
Yeah. One of the last hits I remember
and
there was That Was Yesterday. That was yesterday. That
and then the next album, Say You Will, was like a top
Say
5
You
hit,
Will. So they haven't hit.
Yep.
So
see now Mr. Moonlight from '94 should have been bigger hit. It's just they small ass label. It was buried.
Mm-hmm.
They had one rocker and one ballad, because I remember hearing both on the radio up here.
Mm-hmm.
Under the Gun was the rocker, and then Till the End of Time is a very beautiful song.
Yeah.
And then
but in between there, like they like Lou Gramm left and they put out Unusual Heat.
Yeah.
And that just like
right.
So by the time like the Moonlight album came out, like people were like,
Yep, Johnny Edwards from King Cobra, and it was
which is not a bad album. It's pretty good.
Right. I remember Low Down and Dirty. That was the MTV and the radio hit.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely it sounded a little more Bad Company-ish to me at the time. I'm going, I'm like, okay. But what I liked, and I remember hearing it on the radio for the first time, and I'm going, holy shit, I love this song. This sounds like it's Foreigner. And it turned out that, remember that greatest hits album, The Very Best and Beyond? They had
Mhm.
3 songs, new songs. Soul Doctor. That
Soul
song,
Doctor,
I
yeah.
love that damn thing.
Yeah.
But I found out
Mhm.
something this week about all 3 of those songs. Okay. One of the 3 songs, not that one, it was Prisoner of Love, is co-written by Johnny Edwards, the guy who Lou Gramm came back and said, get out. But guess who sings background on all 3 of the new tracks from back in 92? This is going to get you. Anybody want to guess what nominal 70s, 80s singer sang background on those 3 tracks?
Mm.
No
Eric-
clue.
Eric Carmen.
It'd be a cheap trick if I didn't go off and tell you.
Yeah. Oh, Robin
Wow.
Zander.
Very good. Robin
Yeah.
Zander sings background
Mhm.
on all 3. All right,
Yeah.
Frank Stallone. Okay, look, JJ. No place here ever
Yeah.
in the Violet City. I actually almost had a chance to meet Frank Stallone. He was at
Mhm.
some Italian festival in some
Yeah.
suburb of Chicago, and he was doing his shtick.
You know, Sylvester Stallone's filming a TV series in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
You know, Frank Stallone is down, but he is far from over.
Yeah.
That's because he's got the eye of the. Okay, see, we can't use tiger. We have to use something
The
more
eye of the.
like a C-rated animal. Who could we get from? That's a C-rated. It's the eye of the ocelot.
Eye of the ostrich. Yeah.
Cheap Trick is from near here. That is correct. I love those guys. I always would love those guys. And tonight, I did not know they were on tour with opening for Rod Stewart. How odd is
Ooh.
that?
Wow.
That's interesting.
I'm like, huh? I mean, I would have gone. I would have gone to see both of them. I would have been just fine.
Yeah, speaking of Rod, like, have you guys heard like the remaining 3 members of Faces have been working on new music for the last couple of years?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear? Now here's something that's in the vault, and I don't know if I want to hear it. Maybe just out of curiosity's sake. Do you remember when those couple members? Now this is before Rod got back into it. Do you remember who was the singer for a little while?
Yeah, Mick Hucknall. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's right. From Simply
Yeah.
Red. And supposedly they recorded 2 to 3 tracks and they're somewhere. And I'm like, I want to hear them, damn it. I want to hear what, good or bad, I want to hear it.
Well, I'm sure it's good. He's a phenomenal singer, you know. Like I could see him like, yeah, yeah. Oh, I know, yeah.
But yeah, so let me show this. I got this from a friend of mine. Also sent a nice little mailer along with some DVD covers that I hope to get signed at next Saturday's David Kirshner appearance that I got for the comedy club. And if you guys know who David Kirshner is, that's beautiful. But if not, he was Todd Packer. He was Pac-Man on The Office for about 7 seasons.
I love him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was a cast member of Saturday Night Live for like a year.
Yeah.
That's correct. T-Bone. He was T-Bone. And
yeah.
one of the drunks. Yeah, one of the drunks. To Bill Brasky. Now I'm planning on trying to see if I can. I'm trying to see if I can get him to do that bit for like the photo shot, because this is all meet and greet and photo and shit. So I'll get like, you know, Coke with no booze but like in a square glass. If he's got something, it may not be really a good taste because of what happened to him last month. But I'm gonna be like, to Bill Brasky. I bet you he would go in on it. I don't.
Yeah, yeah. Naked trucker and T-bones. Like that's yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And do you guys have you guys ever seen Mr. Show with David Cross and Bob Odenkirk?
Mm-hmm.
Like they did a movie called Run Ronnie Run. He's in that. He's really good. Like it's.
I'll have to look at that. I would stay for. Well, see now, okay. Here's the thing, though, JJ. I get where you're going on this, but in me here, I would have to stay for at least 3 to 4 Rod songs just to say, okay, I saw Rod Stewart, and then leave.
Mhm.
I'm like that sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, no, that was
Ay, ay,
bad.
ay.
That was a musical
Was
abortion
it
right
Fat
there.
Boys, Aerosmith, or something? Yeah,
Fat
or some of
boys
those
are
guys,
back.
or one
On
of
the
those
And
guys.
you know they can never be whack.
Yeah.
Right. Right. See, I always made up that shit. So my buddy Scott, he gets to go to a lot of these concerts. Belvedere, Illinois, Rockford, Illinois, Madison, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's his little area. So who happened to open up for Yngwie Malmsteen about 6 weeks back? And he was like, all the signed CDs are gone, Paul, but I got you a signed 8x10. And boy, was she in the news 2 days ago. Miss Nita Strauss
Oh yeah, she left Alice's band.
to go
Yeah.
to Demi Lovato's band. She already did one TV appearance, I guess. So
Mhm.
I at least have this very cool pic signed by her. Thanks to my buddy Scott for getting me that. And I'm like, I literally got it the day that the news was announced. I'm like, what the hell? So,
Yeah.
I mean, but here's the thing. Now we get an 80s flashback.
Kane Roberts. Yes,
86
right
to
back.
89.
Yep.
Kane Roberts. I would love to see if they somehow come, because I'm told it's only for September, October shows. That's what I thought Alice said. I hope he lets them stay a little longer. You know, maybe there was commitments or something. But for September, October, Kane Roberts is going to be with them. So if anybody's got tickets to see Alice in those 2 months, you guys are going to be some lucky SOBs. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, I think he might hang around for a while because, like, Constrictor and Raise Your Fist and Yell, which were like the 2 albums that like he was part of Alice's band on back in like 86, 87.
Mm-hmm.
I think they wrote most of the songs together. So, like, I could see this turn into like a thing for a while.
Yeah, I mean that, and they'll bring up, obviously now that he's in the band, they're going to have to bring a couple of those songs back into the set list. So yeah, I mean, I've seen Alice 3 times. Hey, Lise.
Hey, Lisa.
And yeah, Oriente, I liked her work too. Michael Jackson, Alice Cooper, help me. There's another band that she was in. It's escaping me right now. I know she had her own solo band too, did she not? I think just saw Steve Winwood open for Santana and over. You know what? And here's the thing. Speaking of Santana, continued prayers for Santana. By the way, I know he's supposed to be coming back real soon, but from what I was told, he had to cancel the next 6 gigs. And if I remember correctly, the 6th gig was down here in Rogers, Arkansas, at the Walmart amp. And so I have a sneaky feeling it'll either be postponed or canceled. I could be wrong on that, but I brought this up before. I like Santana, don't get me wrong, but I probably only like about a handful of songs. The first 3 albums that he did way back then, great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of course, Black Magic Woman, Omokoyava, shit, there's that other one. It's escaping me. Evil Ways. And then after that, I remember hearing in the 80s, I think it is, Winning, Hold On.
Oh, yeah, Winning.
I remember those.
Yeah, I remember
From
buying a
Zebop.
single Winning, thinking it was the best thing. Yeah, from Zebop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the original
It's a good
Santana
song,
band
though.
with Greg Raleigh in, like that, that was great.
And then Santana 4 was a hell of a record. It really surprised me. And I really hope they kind of it would be nice for them all to come back again sometime soon. I think that'd be very nice. But yeah, Soul Sacrifice. But and of course I like Supernatural, the one with Rob Thomas and everybody, you know.
Yeah, the one that sold like 40
Smooth?
bajillion copies. Yeah.
No shit, right? I mean, but you know, right? The Smooth song so far hasn't gotten old. I don't hear it enough, and that's fine. That's why. And then there was a second single off of it, but help me who the artist is. Leave Your Light On.
Oh, that was
Who's
Everlast. Everlast, I think.
Thank you. And I like that one too. And it was just the way the guitar works on those songs, and it was like, and then what was it? The next album, which I can't remember what the hell that one was called. Game of Love. Who was her name? I'm trying to remember. It was a female this time, and he ended up having a hit with that. See
I remember that. I can't remember who it was, but see, that was the thing. Like, you know, Supernatural was so huge, and then he just ran that into the ground for the next like dozen years. You know, with like this next album, it's like 3 or 4 albums. That whole like just different singer on each track.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? I think that's great. That just like I brought up about from several. Thank you. You know what? Okay, Lisa, I actually was going to blurt out Michelle Branch. That's right, Dad. Michelle Branch was the Game of Love singer. Thank you. And man, it was good one. I don't know what that means, but that's okay. Yeah, see, there you go. I think every band's got their sweet spot, and like I said, I really enjoy those first 3 records. I have them around here somewhere. I did try to get into Welcome. I think it was. Didn't he do an album with John McLaughlin? I think I tried, and I really just didn't like it. Now, one of the coolest albums that I ever tripped on from the place that I found that 99-cent REM bootleg. And I couldn't believe I found this thing for $6.99. And I'm holding this. I'm like, what's wrong with it? What's wrong? And I looked, and the condition was really good. And I'm going, I'm plunking down on this. And I actually didn't mind that record. Never came out in America. It was 1979, 80 Santana. Lotus. It was putting out Japan. They couldn't get it released in America. And I got a Japanese copy of Lotus. And I'm going, what the hell? And okay, fine. You know how the A&R people, I don't hear a single. Well, you know what? When you're Santana, does there always have to be a single?
Yeah.
So maybe they'll crank that out on CD if they haven't yet. I don't know. Oh man! Oh man! Oh, hey, let's have another point here in a minute. Go ahead, Kev. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say like my biggest problem with Santana is being a huge like Peter Green like Fleetwood Mac fan. I hate when people are like, "Oh, Black Magic Woman," the Santana song. I'm like, no, that was a Fleetwood Mac song. It's like,
yeah. Do you know what? That's great that you segue into that, Kev, because I'm so proud of myself. He is 27 years old, okay, or he will be, excuse me, in December. He has led on to some of the classic rock leanings, and he told me last week, that's it, Lotus, that's right. That's right. Thank you, Tino. So the thing is, he goes to me and he says, Dad, you know who one of my favorite bands is, of yours that you probably like? And I go, what? And he goes, Fleetwood Mac. And I'm going, no shit, huh? And he goes, well, look, he goes, where I work, I hear a lot of it. He goes, but he had a trip, and he went into a bunch of like a playlist of stuff,
Mhm.
and I'm going, oh, dude, I'm glad you like the Lindsay Stevie stuff. Oh, but you've only touched the iceberg.
Yeah, there
And
are
I
stuff.
made him play when I picked him up last week. I said, type in hypnotized. I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah,
teach
the
you-
whole Bob Welch
Yeah.
era was.
and I told him, I said, you
that was
have to
great.
listen. You have to listen to this Bob Welch. I said, unfortunately, he killed himself because he wanted to spare his wife. I'm like, because of the disease he had, and I'm like, Bob Welch is so friggin' underrated. Even in his solo stuff, the Paris albums that he did with the Hunt brothers. I'm like, with the Sales brothers, excuse me. And I'm like, there's just a lot of good stuff out there. And then I'm like, okay, so I'm like, okay, so there's your Bob Welch stuff. I
Mhm.
said, now we're going to touch Peter Green a little bit.
There we go. Yep.
That's what she said. But the song that I went off and I typed in, and I said, I go, play Oh Well. And he's like, all right. And I'm like, and I go, this is and then I'm like, Albatross, Dragonfly, Rattlesnake Shake. I'm like,
Yeah. Oh, man of the world. I mean,
Yes.
come on, like that stuff. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, damn, and that is what I would recommend. Now, you know who's playing a few days from now down in Fort Smith? I wish I had the time to go down there because I also heard he reasonably prices meet and greets, and I would bring this record with them just to see the reaction on his face. Dave Mason. Now, Dave Mason,
Mhm.
I mean, I've got a Traffic album. I've
Mhm.
got a solo album, right? And then I have Fleetwood Mac's Time on CD.
oh, yeah.
I found this thing for $6, and it's probably I spent $5.99 too much on this. But I'm like, I never heard it. And I said, I need to be the judge. And I'm going, oh my God. I said, there's only two good songs, and they're the Christine McVie songs. Now, if you
Mhm.
people don't know who was on the Time lineup, you still have McFleet John McVie. They're there. They're there. Christine's there. Thank God, because if Christine and she left after
Yeah.
the Time tour. She's like, and that's when Fleetwood Mac almost broke up. Seriously. So you got those three. Then they figure since Lindsay and Stevie weren't going to be there, even though Lindsay always does a track, he was on 1-2 on that album. And of course, it was one of the Christine ones, no surprise. So
Mhm.
you have Becca Bramlett, Delaney and Bonnie's kid, because she was in McFleetwood's Zoo with Billy Thorpe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Go look for that album sometime
Yeah.
if you people out there haven't heard it. It's a strange.
Yeah, if people don't know who Billy Thorpe is, Children of the Sun. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
In
So
the
to go
early
from Children
'80s.
of the Sun to McFleetwood Zoo.
No.
And then Billy Burnett was still in the band, I think,
Mhm.
and Dave Mason. And I'm going, and Dave does one song, and it wasn't that good. And I'm just like, uh-huh. And what was it? One single charted briefly in Canada. No surprise that even the
Mhm.
shitty stuff charts in Canada. Sorry, Canadians, but it's usually true. Yes, Chicken Shack is another underrated, and that's where she came from. Christine
Mhm.
McVie,
Mhm.
Chicken Shack. Now I will confess, I keep tripping on this album, and I haven't bought it yet. The Christine Perfect album.
Perfect. Yeah.
Mhm.
Is it good? I don't know if I should get
I've never heard it. Never heard it.
I'll have to listen to some on YouTube first. So
But it's funny how Rumors goes from like in '77 to being one of the biggest selling albums of all time to like 18 years later, they put out Time and they don't even chart in the States. Like, you know, it's like they can't even make the top 200, you know?
I mean,
It's like,
okay, let's face it. Behind the Mask from 90 is barely better than Time. And Stevie's on that too. And Lindsay pops up on a track too. But Behind the Mask, I'm going, and I'm like, what was it? They had that greatest hits in '88. As Long as You Follow. That was the song that kept playing on the radio. Of course, a Christine song. Love that. And then I told my son, I said, you know what? I said, I'll burn you a copy of the Lindsey Buckingham Christine McVie album from a couple of years ago, because it's Fleetwood Mac without Stevie. And it's a damn good record that went under the radar, and it's like it should have got much more love. Seriously. Let's see. Have you heard about, you know what? Barely. I have barely heard about this. Jeff Beck is like all over the place lately. He's going to be on that new Ozzy album that's coming up too. He's doing a track. So Zach Wild's doing 4, Joe Bonamassa's doing 1, Tony Iommi's doing 2 tracks, and I pre-ordered that sucker with signed CD insert coming in September. My only Ozzy autograph that I will ever come across. I didn't.
No, I do too, Mike. Tusk. Like Tusk was like an artistic, like just landmark. It was,
you know, it took years.
Perfectly produced album, like it was. Yeah.
It took years for that to grow on me. To be honest with you, I love.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a grower. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, and she also put out a best of, a box set, and also a best of album for solo stuff.
Which I think like the next album, Mirage, was really good too, because I love that late 70s, early 80s, like Lindsay quirky stuff, like his Law and Order album, like that just had some quirky masterpieces.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know, and I'll tell you something. Wally World Radio plays it once every couple of days, but as soon as you hear a 2, a 3, a 4, and I'm going, I love that fucking song.
Yeah.
And it's just, I have to listen to it when it comes on. And you got Mick on that record. You've got Bob Welch in the music video. I'm just like, the whole thing is just really good. And even John, my son, went off and goes, you know, Lindsay's a damn good guitar. I said, you are so correct.
Oh, I mean, listen to Out of the Cradle from '92. That album is brilliant.
Yes.
Like, that is a great album.
Isn't that, I'm trying to think, isn't that where the song Wrong came from?
Yeah. Wrong and Countdown. And, yeah.
I forgot about Countdown. I love that too. That was a hell of a record.
Yeah, Tango wasn't bad either. Yeah.
Right. Now, when Little Lies comes on, I start singing it. I sing it. Give me fries, give me hot salty fries. I just change the fucking lyric.
Yeah, I remember Walmart Radio. Yeah.
And I swear, some country group covered Everywhere, and I'm going, no, don't do this. Don't even try. And it sounded bad. It really did. Tino says Out of the Cradle is Desert Island material.
I could see that, yeah.
See, now I got Go Insane, and I like some of the work on Go Insane, but I like his first album over Go Insane.
Oh yeah, I do too. Law and Order is better than Go Insane.
But I'm so far behind. I know he put one out in the last year, right? A new solo. I don't even have that one yet. I gotta get that.
Oh yeah, he's been putting stuff out. Like, I mean, Seeds We Sow came out in like 2006, I think. Like that was a great album too.
So I still can't believe this. I mean, going back to a couple of years ago, that they thought the rest of the band, he's out of here. He went off and shot his mouth off. Stevie
Mhm.
got offended. Fuck Stevie. But the thing is that, yeah, I said it. Fuck Stevie. Not me, though, mind you, because everyone else has.
Yeah, yeah,
She's gotten around. Yeah,
yeah,
she has a history.
It's more than leather and lace there, kids.
yeah. She's getting up there.
Oh, oh boy.
Her lace is getting a little crinkly.
Yeah, they should have called that song "Whips and Chains" instead of "Leather and Lace."
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I think she's like 75 or something now. Yeah.
Yeah. I think she was on Don Henley's solo album he did, that Cooks County. Supposedly she ended up doing a duet with them on that damn record, but I never heard the track. That kind of surprised me. I'm going, okay, whatever. I'm not a big Stevie solo fan person, okay? Yes, I bought Belladonna. Yes, I bought the one after that, okay? But that was it. I didn't buy anything past that. And I can't believe I'm saying this. I really can't. There was a Time Space, which was the greatest hits. She had, I think, 2 new songs on that record. And sometimes it's I really like that. That's ear candy in my head. There's just one problem with it. Can anybody take a guess as to what the problem is with that song?
Co-written by Bret Michaels. Was it Bret Michaels? Yeah.
No. It was co-written by a no talent hack named John Jovi. That's right.
Oh, yeah,
No
Bon
Talent.
Jovi. Yeah, okay, yeah. I knew it was one of those two guys, you know. Yeah.
And I'm going, but I like that song. It's just so goofy, but you know it.
I don't know why I thought I don't know why I thought it was Bret Michaels. Probably because she banged him one time. I don't know.
Probably. There's probably some sex tape I don't want to see on that either. Okay, so Stevie is the goat. So she sings like a goat. Bear sings like a horse. If those two ever put an album together, I think a lot of people would commit suicide because they would not want to hear it. And throw Yoko in the background, and you're going to really get. That's how the world's going to go, people. It's that. Yeah. It has nothing to do with the New World Order, which, of course, we all know is Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and everyone else. But but I did pick up real cheap because Psycho is thrifty. I'm frugal. And I have not listened to it yet, but this is a half hard CD to find. Street Angel from '92 from Stevie. And guess who is on half of that album playing guitar and other instruments? This is funny. Bernie Lee. From the Eagles.
Oh, the Eagles.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is on half of that record, and yet I have not had a chance to listen to it. And Thrifty is Psycho. That's right. Yeah. Thrifty is Psycho. You know, okay, listen. I didn't question whether or not John Bon Jovi, the no talent hack, was a nice guy. I didn't question that. But what I will tell you, and I've brought this story up before, so forgive me for bringing it up. He's a sneaky little shit is what he is, okay? Because him and Skid Row, Bon Jovi and Skid Row, they both were from Jersey, you see.
They had that pact. Yeah.
That's right. They made that pact that whoever got out first would help the other one, which in a way it did. But the first 2 Skid Row albums are under John Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora's publishing company. The oral agreement at that time was they were only going to take money out for a certain amount of time for the publishing agreement with Skid Row. Richie Sambora, who had a conscience, got to the band after that second album release, which was Slave to the Grind, right? I think.
Yeah.
Am I right? And Richie said, hey, he goes, our deal's done. Here's $25,000 that got sent. So Sambora gave the band 25 G's. John Bon Jovi kept that damn money and he still has it. Anytime a Skid Row from those two records, John gets money.
Mm-hmm.
So John backed out. Tony Soprano land, Mike says. Yes, that's what Jersey is. The land of Bon Jovi, Skid Row, Twisted Sister, String Bean. I know I'm forgetting a few. That's okay. Was he always no talent or just recently? No, he's always been no talent. Now, I'll say this.
Who, John Bon Jovi?
Yes.
No
I
talent?
will say
Yes.
this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was one. Yeah, I was peer pressured. Oh boy, into getting slippery when wet. That was Bad Medicine.
Not me.
That album was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never bought another Bon Jovi record ever.
Well, people talk about like Paul's voice being shit at like 80. It's like, come on, you're 80. You know, most people have been sitting in a rocking chair for like 15 years at this point.
True.
But John Bon Jovi at 59, 60 sounds horrible.
Yeah, what happened? That's what I'm curious about. What happened?
Well, I think just the way he sings, like he just did it improperly over the last 40 years, you know? So
what's this? I had a choice of getting Slippery or Box of Frogs in 75.
Oh yeah, the Yardbirds reunion.
Yeah, Yardbirds with the new guy. Yeah.
Those two albums are great. They should have kept going with this, but obviously they weren't really making very much as the Box of Frogs.
Yeah, that video is really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I could have sworn that there's some unreleased Box of Frogs for a third album that just pretty much got killed because they flipped it to Yardbirds. I don't know how true that is. So,
don't know.
But yeah, that first one, especially with Page and I think with Page and Beck, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Clapton ever show up on any of that on the first two?
No.
I think he was asked and he declined or something.
Yeah, Strangeland, the second album is not that great.
Yeah.
But the first one's a lot better.
Yeah.
Yep.
The song was called Back Where I Started, I believe, because the beginning goes, you know, and it kind of starts, and, you know.
I love all that stuff.
Yeah. That was back when MTV played videos, you know.
Yeah.
The good old days.
Man, oh man. Yeah, definitely. I would have loved to have seen the Yardbirds.
Me too, and I don't remember a whole lot of them. I told you I saw them. I was like 6 years old, and my dad took me to an amusement park, and I didn't actually see the band, but I hear a little bit of "I'm a Man," a little bit of "For Your Love," and I heard "Heart Full of Soul" all the way through. So I didn't actually go to the concert, but I went to the amusement park that the Yardbirds were playing. And I looked, there they are, you know. So I actually listened to the concert without having a ticket. So, you know, Dad put me on the Ferris wheel again. I want to hear, you know.
Yeah. Too bad you couldn't have seen a new Yardbirds early.
I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Jimmy was playing bass. Jimmy was playing bass. So
I always wanted to see Zepp at least once. I was denied. I was fucking denied.
Yeah, man.
You people that got to see Zepp, you guys were lucky. Even on their shit nights, they probably were better than most of the fucking bands today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's like people that show up in streams and they're like, "Oh yeah, I saw the Beatles in like 65 or 66." I'm like, you got to be shitting me. That would have been like gold, you know? Yeah.
See, here's the thing, though. Okay, I think that what it really is like. Okay, you brought up the Beatles here, 64, 65, 66.
Yeah.
Would we really have been able to hear anything? Probably
No.
not from all the, maybe 66 actually, because there was some dates that were not completely full houses. I maybe would have rather have gone to a 66 show because maybe you would have been able to hear some of it.
Mhm.
But the 64, 65, it was all times
Well,
1,000.
like for me, I got to see the Monkees in '67 before
Oh,
original.
Oh, see that right there.
And it
That
was
to
like,
me is like that's like the holy grail of like
Yeah.
concert going
My
experience.
ears were ringing
Yeah.
for 2 days after the concert. I remember,
I'm telling you, I would have
But I was like
loved.
7 years old, so these 4 young guys, and they actually can play. They said they can't play their instruments. They can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
67, and
Mhm.
and I would have loved to have been either in Australia or Japan in 68 for those shows.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would have just been, I would have been, oh my God. And Goldmine, the last couple issues,
Mhm.
they've put out some decent CD, DVD bootlegs on the Monkees. And I'm
Yeah.
going, oh, me likey, I'm planning on pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
And one of them is now I have it on a WAV file. A friend of mine on the East Coast sent me the whole Japan show, the one that was televised on television.
Mm-hmm.
But there's less of the talking. They were able to edit some of it out, but it's not perfect, but it's close. But it's the whole thing, and it sounds really good. And I'm just like, but I want it on a physical form. So it's like that's one thing. Then the Rhino Handmade did Mobile, Alabama '67.
Mhm.
The whole show. I can get that too. On a
Mhm.
CD. I think it's a CDR, I'm guessing. So what I'm going to have to do, because I know those don't last very long, I'm going to have to stick it on another format and then just put this one away as a safety copy.
I'll be right back.
But
Yeah.
and then I really wish that they would. God, I really wish they would find a '69 tape of the three of them with Sam and the Good Timers backing up. Now I heard a little bit from that Kansas. I think it was. Oh God, what was it? Topeka, Kansas, Omaha, Nebraska. It was one of them, and the sound was so bad. I'm like, you really couldn't hear much at all.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Somehow we got Phil Collins going here. Is this?
Oh, he's talking about the reunion, MTV reunion thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And
he didn't know.
See, that's the thing. I don't understand why, and because Jason Bonham he started in Air Race in '83.
Yeah.
So he already had a couple of years under his belt. They should have asked Jason right then and there. Because if
he did a couple of years later, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike.
Because I could have sworn when the '88 reunion for the Atlantic Records.
Yeah, he was there. He was there.
Jason was there in '88.
Yeah.
Tequila Mockingbird. Oh boy. How. I guess that there's supposed to be some live album. It's like one of the last gigs that Dusty did, and they're going to put it out. And yeah, so good for that. I may end up getting that down the line. I liked ZZ. I always thought they were an excellent band. And talk about boogie. Talk about Texas boogie. Oh man, that's some crazy stuff. They used to play ZZ a lot on the radio, and that was even before Eliminator. before all those songs. I'm glad I got to see them. I think it was 2009 or 2010. I'm glad I got to see ZZ down here. That was like one of the best shows I ever went to. And you know who opened up for him? I thought this was even cool too. Blackberry Smoke opened for ZZ, and it's like, to me, it's like if the Stones and the Almonds had a bastard child, that's what it would have sounded like, was Blackberry Smoke.
Yeah. And I was, it's talking about going to. Go ahead.
Walrus says it's called Raw. That's going to be the name of the album. I don't remember when it's coming out, though. Something tells me September. Am I right, Walrus? I don't remember.
Okay.
I think it's September.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. Yes.
Yeah.
What do we got here? I'm sorry. Hang on.
Go ahead.
I'm glad a lot of people said they could see the feed, but I do have a slight delay. I can't. Well, listen, I can't go to a lot of live shows anymore either. Unfortunately, I had to eat those tickets, even though they were free for Chicago Brian Wilson. That pissed me off. But I'm hoping in September, because I am looking forward to like mid to late September. Hopefully by then it'll cool off. Trout Fishing in America, which I don't know if you've heard of them, Jeff, but they've been around 30 plus years. They're going to go in, July 22nd is when Raw comes out. That's what Walrus said. But they've been Grammy Award, and it's a duo. They do kid music, but they do adult music too. Like one of them's got a stand-up bass, the other guy's got a guitar. They're out of Eureka Springs, Arkansas. So I mean, it's a kind of a local flair. And then speaking of tribute bands, Mike, if I remember correctly, there's a Tom Petty tribute band coming through, and Freddie Mercury tribute. So I'm at shows.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So, excuse me a minute, Jeff. Talk to the audience a minute while I go get another cup of decaf.
Going to get some. Okay. I was talking about Paul because I went to see the Monkees in Oklahoma City when I was 7 years old, and it was like you can imagine nothing but wah, and I couldn't hear my ears for a couple of days. I couldn't hear. And that amusement park, it was called Wedgwood in Oklahoma City. And they had a lot of different concerts. There was a period where I didn't go as much, but there was something I regret, because in 1968, a very famous group was going to go to Wedgwood Amusement Park. And it was in August of 1968. My mother was in the hospital. She was having kidney problems. She was going to have an operation. So my dad was going to take me to this concert. And it was at Wedgwood Amusement Park in Oklahoma City, 1968. And here comes my grandparents, and I couldn't go. Now, the group I could have seen, and this was a year before Tommy, The Who played Oklahoma City in 1968 at Amusement Park. And some, if not all of the video is up on YouTube. Look for The Who 1968 Wedgwood Amusement Park.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. But see, my dad was going to take me because my mom was having a kidney operation, so my dad was going to take me to the concert, and my grandparents had to come and spoil it. So, but it's all. I didn't live too far from I actually almost heard the concert myself. I didn't live too far from the amusement park, so in Oklahoma City back then. So that was another childhood memory. I was telling Paul, Beans here, this amusement park. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. There's this amusement park used to have a lot of concerts, and there was one evening in 1968, and my dad was going to take me to this concert because my mother was in the hospital having an operation, and I didn't get to go, and I almost got to see The Who.
Damn.
It was before Tommy, so they would have played their, that was all the original four, including Keith. So
God. Yeah, Mike, I think like I think the best live performance I've ever seen was from the Who doing a quick one on the Stones Rock and Roll.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's on the Kids Are All Right.
Yeah, the version you can find it on YouTube, but it's a different cut.
Mm-hmm.
But the version on the Kids Are All Right is just
I like the version of "Won't Get Fooled Again" right at the end of the concert.
Oh yeah, Shepperton. When they
did they had to do the extra footage because none existed, and it turned out to be the last footage of Keith in a concert setting. That's kind of crazy. Yeah.
I always wanted to see the Who. I'll tell you.
Me too. You know,
the closest, at least, or should I say, the first was 82.
Yeah.
Buddy of mine was going to Rosemont Horizon, and it was I think it was like November, maybe it was a month before the last show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, son of a bitch, and I mean, I remember getting It's Hard when that came out, but I only liked a couple songs off of that. Would have made a strong EP.
Yeah,
It's hard.
Just like McCartney 3. Yeah. Would have made a great EP. Yeah.
Yeah. I went through a period I just didn't go to a whole lot of concerts. I got to see the Eagles in 1980, right before they originally split up. And then I was able to see Queen's last American tour, 1982.
Wow, you've seen some good shit from the Monkees to Queen, like that.
Yeah, and you know, and Queen played a bunch of material from that new album, you know, Hot Space, that didn't do too well, but it was still a pretty good concert. It was a pretty good concert. The last concert I saw was the Monkees, the Three Monkees in 1986. I haven't seen a concert since then. So.
Yeah, I saw the three of them in '86, and I saw Mike and Mickey in 2019.
Yeah.
Which I was really thankful I got to see Mike finally one time. Yeah.
Yeah, 96 and 2013. That's the only times. And let's see, what was it? And Davey solo in 2005. So, yep.
And if you're asking when I saw the Monkees in 1967, no, Jimi Hendrix wasn't with them. He had left the tour by then. So I would have remembered if Jimi Hendrix was there.
Boy, I wish I was at that.
Yeah.
Old. Except Jimmy getting pissed.
Yeah. You know. We want Davey. Yeah, monkey. Yeah, I would have. What the hell is this? You know. So. But that was
Egypt.
That was the
that's funny.
That was the 60s for you.
Okay. You know, and I heard.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Bob.
Go ahead, Bob. Gotcha.
No, go on.
I was gonna say, going back to the Who, like the two albums with Kenny Jones, like they weren't horrible. I mean, Face Dances was good. It's hard. Like
I love Face Dances.
Yeah.
No, it's a different band, but
I mean, and you'd think like he was like in the Small Faces, and at that period in the '60s, they were kind of the two like big mod bands.
Yeah, Another Tricky Day.
You would think like Kenny Jones would be like a perfect like fit for the Who, but like he wasn't a good replacement for Keith. You know?
Yeah, and I hear Roger Daltrey didn't like him or something.
But like Zach Starkey, like Ringo's kid, has been drumming with him for like 26 years now. Yeah. Like he's great. He's perfect.
I need to get that bonus tracks with Face Dances. I actually have heard the bonus tracks, and personally, if I was armchair quarterback, there was 2 bonus tracks on there that I liked more than 2. And I love that whole Face Dances album, but I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, if they would have put this song instead of this song, you know, we've all done that game with all of our favorite albums and stuff.
Yeah.
That's like even Paul, like with Egypt Station, if you would have put like Nothing for Free on there and taken off like 2 or 3 other songs,
better album.
It would have been a really solid album. But McCartney 3, no, that's just an EP all the way. Like there's nothing saving that really.
Yeah, you know, maybe so with the Who after the Who Are You bit. I mean, even that album really that great. Who Are You was it? See, I think I brought this up before in front of you, Kevin, but if I remember correctly, like their golden period was pretty much like 67 to like 73. They could do no wrong. Just like everything that came out during those years. Because, I mean, Who by Numbers had a couple good tracks, but it wasn't really that great. Who Are You had a couple good tracks, but it wasn't that great. And it's like, and you know, like I said, I love Face Dances, and It's Hard could have been an EP, and then they were working on another one. And in '83, they reconvened for one last attempt. And for the life of me, no song titles were ever mentioned. But I remember in a blurb, Pete said, "Now get this, so this would have been real weird." That they contacted Todd Rundgren to work on this.
Yeah,
I don't know how far that went, but could you imagine an album in '83 or '84? Todd Rundgren produced Who record.
Yeah.
That would have been strange.
And right after that, he did that solo album, The Chinese Eyes.
Yeah, hey, Sam. Yeah, Marty Stewart's amazing. Yeah. He's,
yes, Eminence Front. It's a put on.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, like I thought that was a poor choice for a single, Eminence Front. It's like, you know,
my mother likes that song.
It's one of the slighter like Who songs, you know. It's like
yeah.
My 76-year-old mother likes Eminence Front.
Eminence Front, yeah.
And I tried playing her Happy Jack, and I'm a boy. She wouldn't put up with it. She's like, "No, get that off."
Yeah.
It's just a one tune, but Eminence Front I like.
That's weird. It's like my mom and dad used to buy me a lot of Beatles 45s, you know, when they're, you know, they didn't like the Rolling Stones at all. But, yeah, I'll get you those Beatles. Sure. You know, so.
See, that was the thing, though. I mean, in the 70s and 80s, I mean, I lived within like 2 block distance, and this is even before the record store came in '79.
Yeah.
Woolworths, literally down the street. I could go dig through the cutout bins for the 45s and the albums, which is what I did. So we had that. We had a bookstore that also sold. They went one better. They would get the top 50. That's what they would do. They get the top 50 45s, and then the ones that wouldn't sell after a while, then they throw them into some type of a clearance thing, right? But they would have the WLS Silver Dollar Survey sheets where, you know, for every week it was what, you know, I'm like, I had a bunch of those. I wish I still had those from the 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
And then there was another, it was called Illinois Music Service. And mostly it was musical instruments and music books, but they had a corner rack too where they did top 40, and then they were more 45s, not so much albums. But I just thought that was kind of neat that I could get all of this, you know, just like that. And hell, down the block was this old Blue Lady run church resale shop. And I'm going to tell you, the things that this kid bought out of that resale shop over the tracks. I mean, I still remember Monkeys, DC5. I think I might have even found a Beatles or two there. Yeah. I'm just like, and dirt cheap. And I'm like, yes, please and thank you. 10-cent 45s they had. I'm like, keep them coming.
Let's talk about like the cutout bins. Like that was a magical time for me. It's you know, I bought Ringo's Road Gravure, Bad Boy, Stop and Smell the Roses, Ringo the Fourth, George Harrison self-titled, Somewhere in England, and Going Troppo for like 99 cents to $1.99 a piece. I didn't care if it had a little saw cut in the corner, like you know,
Yeah, they had a music stores called Peaches Records, if you remember them, and they had an enormous cutout collection. So I buy more stuff in the cutouts than I'd buy with the newer.
The
newer albums.
Yeah, that's where I got like Peter Frampton's "I'm in You" and "Where I Should Be." It's like it's like I was turned on to all these like great albums for like 99 cents to $1.99. You know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And some older catalog titles. I wanted to get some other ones.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So you were talking about Peaches. Like I said, I think we had Oranges. That was the name of it. We had Flip Sides. That was an Illinois, Wisconsin thing. Maybe Indiana too. Flip Side. And then I would scour through all those cutout bins. Once in a while, Skip would have. He wasn't one to have too many cheap boxes, but once in a while, if he was sick and tired of a lot of this stuff, he'd be like $1 or $2 stuff. Here you go. I'm tired of looking at it. And sometimes I would just, based on cover alone, or this guy was in this band, which was in this band, this could be decent. And if it turned out it was shit, you're like, I only spent $1 or $2.
Yeah, that's me too. Yeah.
Fun
stuff.
Like
I mean, I was born in 70. Like I wish I was born in like 50 and could have been around for the cutout bins in the late 60s and just buy all these 99-cent, $1.99 albums just because the album cover was so psychedelic looking.
Yeah, I saw
all the gems you could have got there. You know,
I was born in 1960, so I saw some of them. I actually got a couple of the later day Beach Boys albums. I got the 15 Big Ones, and I got Light Out. Don't Tell Mason. I got Light Album, and I got MIU 2 or 3 albums that sounded okay, but nothing.
I've heard of Caldor. Never was in Connecticut. For some reason, I heard of Caldor.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such fun. I mean, with so much little money, you could come up with so much treasure. And
especially being like a kid, it's like between like 9 and 13 years old.
Oh yeah,
it's like hell yeah. Mm-hmm. I could buy this new like Ringo or George album for like $2. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh man, oh man. Just so much goodies. Let's see what else. Oh, well, you know what? Let's bring the elephant in the room out. This is something that was mentioned a couple days back for our harder rock people. 2023.
I know where you're going. Pantera.
Now I know your people are like, it ain't Pantera without Dimebag or Vinny. You are so correct, but since the lineup is Phil and Rex, Zakk Wylde, Charlie Batant from Anthrax, I'll damn go. I will go. If that lineup is solid, I'm going, because I'm like, that's it. Yeah. And
well, see, I'm okay with that if it's like a tribute tour, that would be good. Right. But if it's going to be like a thing that like goes on and they're going to like record new music and stuff, then you get in a little stickier situation,
That's the rumor. They think that it's possible 2 to 3 new tracks for some type of a record.
Well, that would be okay.
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to hear it.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear it. Because wasn't it like 2001, 2002 was like the last Pantera album before everybody broke up and Dimebag and Vinny went to Damage Plan?
Yeah. I think like 2001, something like that. Yeah.
And then Vinny went to Hell Yeah. Talk about, Vinny and David Allan Coe. I'm going, what the holy hell is this? That was just really weird.
Hey, Paul.
Yes.
This is not me. I may have to go because the police are outside.
What?
Yeah, the police are outside. They want to take me away. No, they want to. I think they want to talk about the girl that used to live next to me. So,
if you see Sting or Andy or Stewart, try to get us autograph.
Okay, yeah, I will. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. I'll let you know what happens. Okay,
all right. See you, Jeff.
Okay, see ya.
Take care, Jeff.
Yeah, see, like the whole thing, like we were talking about, like a long time ago, about like bands that have like one member left. It's like certain bands can get away with that. Certain bands can't. It's like the Who can tour with Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend as the Who, and nobody says anything. Could you imagine if Paul and Ringo would go out as the Beatles? Like the hell they would get? Like nobody would accept that. There's no way. You know?
No, but here's Julian Lennon and Danny Harrison. Here's your fill-ins.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like I hear people say all the time, like, "Oh, the Beatles kids should like put a band together." I'm like, no, they shouldn't. Like, what would be the point of that? Like, that's ridiculous.
There's a Facebook meme that cracks me up, and I've shared it. You maybe have seen it, and it shows a picture of the Rolling Stones of Mick, Keith, and Ron, and then it shows Paul and Ringo, and they're like, "Stones need a bass drum," and I'm going, I said that would be the Rolling Beatles.
Well, see, that's the same thing with the Who. Like, you know, they lost their drummer and bass player. You could put Paul and Ringo in there, and like, you know, Roger and Pete. Like, you know, call it the Hoodles.
The Who beat. The Hoodles. I love it. Oh my God. You know, did you see? Of course, you know the excellent book of Horton Hears the Who, which is fantastic. Go to your local bookstore because I call it a bargain. The best I ever had. The best I ever had. I'm not all right up here, and I'm not all left either. I'm just Horton was a rocker. A Canadian band I listened to is still going without their original singer. He was let go due to a drug charge and arrest. I have been a fan. Oh, Bare Naked Ladies.
Oh, Bare Naked Ladies, yeah.
Yes, I saw Bare Naked Ladies headline. And REO opened. I'm going, that was a screw up right there. And but yeah, so I saw Bare Naked Ladies about like I think 2011, 2012. I like them. See, I thought you were going to go off and bring up something like April Wine or Helix or something like that. And do you
Canadian band, yeah.
But that's the thing though. I love Trailer Park.
That's right, Sam. We talked about that earlier. Like Mick Jones is like the only original guy, and he like shows up with them like here and there, you know.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, if you watch Trailer Park Boys, the animated series, they had a concert. It was Trailer Stock. That's what it was called. And they called up and the dude from Helix answered the phone and Julian's talking to him. And so Helix, it's the real guys too for the voices, by the way. So Helix comes on, but of course, Julian and Ricky, you know, have this scheme. They're like, wait a minute. What do you mean Queens of Stone Age are playing down the road? So they kidnap Queens of the Stone Age to fucking play Trailer Stock. And Helix never gets to go on. And so it's the next day and they're cleaning up after everything. And whatever the main dude from Helix is like, hey, he goes, we want our money. And Ricky goes, pay to play, buddy, pay to play. And there's only, because Ricky loved Helix anyway, but it's like, so it's Ricky, the grandson, and a couple other people. And so Helix plays the fucking thing just to those couple people. I thought that was funny. That's all.
Yeah, like I saw the first season of the animated Trailer Park Boys.
I like what they did with for Mr. Leahy.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't remember that.
A lot of people didn't know that John Dunsworth was a Shakespearean actor in some CBC TV productions. I'm going, oh, didn't know that.
He was a well-respected Canadian actor. Yeah.
So let's see. Hold on a minute. So Brian Bill, no. No, but here's the thing. I read recently, I think it was in Gold Mine, Al Jardine's solo album from a couple years back is getting re-released. There is a track on that re-release that has all the other surviving members of the Beach Boys on that track. So you may want to get that new the new old Al Jardine re-release.
What was that? Postcards from California?
Right.
Is that the one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have that one. I heard it's a good record. I've several people have told me.
Yeah, I've heard it. It's good. Like Al's voice has stayed intact all these years.
See, that was the thing. I wanted to go when I was for the Chicago Brian Wilson thing. Like I said, I wanted to basically go to the merch table. I didn't have much money, but I wanted to see if there was a Brian or an Al signed item. I was going for one of those. But somebody later went off and showed, I'm in a couple autograph Facebook groups, private ones, and somebody went to the Brian Wilson show like 1 to 2 tour dates before I could have gone. And they showed that at the merch table, there was Brian Wilson signed tour programs, $75. I don't know. I already got a Brian Wilson autograph, or I maybe would have pulled the trigger on that. I just kind of wanted an Al autograph. I've got Brian's, I've got Dill Hole, Mike Love's on his book.
Dill Hole Love.
Yeah, and I've got Bruce Johnston. I count Bruce Johnston as a Beach Boy.
He's been there since '65. He quit for 6 years in the '70s, but like he's been there like for 48 of like the last 60 years.
Right.
Yeah, Mike. David Marks didn't go uncredited. Like he's on the album covers and everything.
Yeah. See if Al didn't go to dental school.
Yeah.
and David, I mean, he had a strange after the Beach Boys. I mean, I think wasn't Murray the one that like kicked him the fuck out?
Yeah, I think after Al came back, like Murray was pretty much like, we don't need you,
Yeah. And he tried to go psychedelic with The Moon. That was the name in '68.
Yeah, I love those two albums. Those are great albums. Those two albums,
yeah,
really good.
I've heard little bits. I haven't heard all of it. But I remember somebody asked, they're like, "Are the Beach Boys gonna get back together for 60?" And the answer is no. That's sad. It's sad, but you see. It is what it is, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I only ever saw the Mike Love, Bruce Johnston, John Cowsill version in 2000. That's what I saw for $7 at the county fair in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Where, get this, several weeks before that, they played an outdoor concert in Rockford, Illinois, along the river, and the tickets were $40. And I'm like, I'm mama didn't raise no fool. I'll obviously just drive a little extra, like an extra half hour, to only spend $7 to go to a county fair and see them. And that's how I got to see that. Yeah, Elk Cornhole, Wisconsin, Mike. That's right. Elk Cornhole.
Yeah, he said cornhole.
But that's the thing, though. I know we've brought up Beach Boys before, but personally, to me, 62 to 72. I was talking with a friend of mine in the car, man. In fact, maybe it was Shani Annie. I told her, I said 62 to 72. I said that was their best years, in my opinion. That was some of that stuff you can't do no wrong. I mean,
well, yeah, even through. Well, I think if you take like 65, like I like the early surf hits and stuff, but like lyrically, they're not the best. Like Mike Love is no Paul McCartney or John Lennon as far as like lyrics go.
Right.
But I think 65 through 77, if you take out 15 Big Ones, those albums from like Today through Love You, brilliant, great progressive band. But like after that, they just became this just let's go back to the early 60s doo-wop sound and just like
he's blonde like Al. He's also on the cover with the Woody. Sorry,
the Woody. But yeah, like after Endless Summer became so huge, they just became an oldies act, pretty much.
Right, right.
Oh, thanks, Sam. I love what you do. It's great. It's great.
I know that there is tapes out there. I still have yet to hear it. It's if I remember correctly, I think it's 68, 69. The couple nights that the Beach Boys and the Grateful Dead.
Oh, that was 71.
71, thank you. Yeah. Okay, so Surf's Up era. Okay, so I would love to, because I heard they all got together for a little jam at the end. I'm like, oh my God, that's got to be insane. That's got to be so goofy. That the Beach Boys and the Dead.
Yeah. But at that point, the Beach Boys were a progressive band. Like, I mean, you listen to like, Surf's Up, Sunflower, definitely, Carl and the Passions, Holland. It was a band that was moving forward and stuff. And then after like the Endless Summer thing came out, they just became an oldies act. And like all their albums like after that were like doody bop, doody bop. It's like, it's like you just like going back to like that whole like, doo-wop type thing that you started with,
I'm not going to lie, Sam. I don't have that album. I know the song, That's Why God Made the Radio. And I think they played one other one on the easy listening station here in town. That's how I heard it. And who helped to make Why God Made the Radio? If I remember correctly, Jim Peterick was one of the co-writers on that song. Go figure. I thought that was kind of neat that he was in there too.
Well, yeah, I thought That's Why God Made the Radio was like the best thing they did in like, 35 years, 40 years. But I still thought it was kind of, for me, like overwhelming or like underwhelming as far as like, yeah, great. Like we're getting back together after 50 years and like, here we go. Like, but.
And yet there was still Bad Blood after all that
shit. No, Pet Sounds. Yeah. No, Mike, like Pet Sounds is my second favorite album of all time. Yeah. Yeah, the end is great, but like, I mean, like the first half, it's just like anything off of like MIU or Light Album or like Beach Boys '85. It's like the don't da boom ba doom. It's like it's like
maybe I just need to go back into those because I do have those late '70s records. It's just maybe I just need to explore them a little more. I've got Beach Boys Love You, 15 Big Ones, the Light Album. I want to say, I think the Light Album, I have it as a German import on Reprise. And it came with a promo sheet or two describing the band. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah. This is late 70s that you think you have to describe who the Beach Boys are. They did not get created a year ago. But I'll tell you the one time I should have went. the first Beach Boys tour that I remember that came within reasonable distance to me was Carl's last tour, which I think was 96, 95, 96. Chicago was there on the bill too. And Carl, I remember that the local TV station interviewed Carl. And he's like, yeah, this is my last tour. He goes, I'm passing the baton to David Marks. I'm going, wait a minute. I didn't know David was back in the band. That's what surprised me. And I'm like, and that's exactly what happened. So it was David was on that tour with Carl on that last go round. And I'm like, I should have went. I kicked myself in the ass on that. Yeah. But you're right, though, that Carl and the Passions. And then the CD, if I remember correctly, came out in 2000. It was Carl,
the
Jerry Beckley from America and somebody else.
Oh, well, you had like Blondie in the band at that time.
Yes,
and
Blondie was there.
Ricky Fattar, like
that I should have went on that tour. I kicked myself in the ass on that one all the time because at least I could have seen, the Carl stuff. And I'll always go back to, as far as for one of the first times I think I ever saw the Beach Boys live on TV, was the Fridays episode from 1980. And it was such a strange, if you guys haven't seen this, go on YouTube because it's there.
Is that what them doing, Keeping the Summer Alive? And
I love that damn song. I do.
Yeah, that's a great song. Yeah, Carl wrote that with Randy Bachman.
That's right.
From the Guess Who. Yeah,
that is right. And Joe Walsh does the slide solo. Mm-hmm. He took it. I'm like, what? And I'm like that. All you have this nugget of goodness on that album, and it's like just the background. The harmonies is beautiful on that song.
And see, like they from 77 on, or 78 on. They did, their albums, they still have great songs on them, but overall, everything, just the quality just went downhill because they were just okay, we're this nostalgic act now, we're gonna just do this same sound in early 60s stuff.
Here's something that I guess, not to change total topic here, but he says, so do you think somebody that's over 50 who hates jazz, has no interest in ever trying to dig it, might have a problem with wanting to grow as a human, especially culturally?
No, I don't know. No, everybody's different, everybody likes what they like,
The thing is, Mike, and I can dabble in some, but okay, the only things that I really maybe have in my collection for jazz, I have a wonderful mint original Bitches Brew for Miles Davis. I've played it. I like it. I will admit I kicked myself in the ass for selling. I had a quad copy of Bitches Brew. I found it under a table in a box at a library book sale in McHenry, Illinois. Could not believe I found a quad issue of that. That was nuts. But I ended up turning around and selling that thing for $25. That was about 20 years back. I think I did a good deal back then. Maybe I should have hung on to it. But I also like Stan Getz. He was the first jazz person I actually got introduced to, courtesy of Doug Fields. And I do like a little bit of Dave Brubeck. But other than that, I don't know a lot of jazz. I don't know. It is what it is. It's just like with the old school punk. Okay. I don't have very much in the collection. I don't have any rap. I mean, I may have Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style. I've got that because there's a couple good tracks on that. And I might have a Dr. Dre sitting around somewhere, but I don't go, it's not like one of my top 10 discs or 50 discs or 100 discs. I mean, everybody's music tastes are eclectic. I still think it's funny that the record store dude that I go down, down to, better say down to, and go down on. No, not that, Mr. Pretentious. Fuck that. But he always goes, "You and your weird record collection. Fuck you, Mr. Pretentious, with my weird record collection." You know when he said this to me? I'll give you a couple examples. When I found it was one of Nez's solo albums. Oh, it was Wichita Train Whistle. I found Wichita Train Whistle. This is all in one purchase. I got that. I got Turtle Soup from the Turtles. Yeah, dirt cheap, and I'm like, and I'm a couple other one, Black Oak, Arkansas, early times. That's the Stax material, and a couple other things. And he goes, "You and your weird record collection. Fuck you. I'll listen to my weird record collection and enjoy it. Thank you very much." You know, everybody's
and you know what? Like as far as like Turtle Soup, like the only album Ray Davies from the Kinks like produced outside of the Kinks, and it's brilliant. It's great. It's great.
The only Turtle album I don't have original, Woodenhead. I would love to find a copy of Woodenhead. Never found one. Not even in a beat up damn condition. Never found Woodenhead. I finally have all the other ones. From It Ain't Me, Babe, all the way to I love Battle of the Bands. That's another good one. But yeah, the Turtles don't get enough love. But hey, you know, they also should be in the top 10 of bands most fucked with by management, agents, et cetera, et cetera. There's a great Turtle documentary. Go watch it out there, and you'll see them with the blackboard, and they're going, "Well, this manager went."
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it's like we'll call this manager number 5. It's like, and manager number 1 was still suing us for $2 million. Don't forget, you know, and just hilarious. Like Flo and Eddie were the funniest guys. Like they're great.
I love those albums.
And their first like 4 solo albums were great. You know, the first Flo and Eddie albums. Yeah.
Right. That was another one that was in the pile. I found Flo and Fluorescent Eddie, the first one. I grabbed it. And he's like, "What the?" And I'm like, "Shut up and just." That's what I finally said. I'm like, "Shut up and just." And I didn't have to pay a thing for them because they were. I get cash and trade from this guy when I sell stuff. So it's like free stuff. Like I showed you that Association album on Columbia, which that was the only thing they did for Columbia. Now, another band that did it, that had their last album on Columbia, and I've never heard anything from it, but I heard it's way different than their earlier stuff, is the Rascals. They finished their last album on Columbia in the early 70s. Haven't heard a lick of that. Felix Cavalier's got a new book out, which I want to get. And if you go to his website, you can get it signed. There's your hint. So you could get signed.
And if Sam St. John's still here, like, I think this track you would like. Look up Flo and Eddie. It's a song called Mama Open Up. I think it's on their 3rd album, maybe. I forget what it's called.
My
great track.
Flo and Eddie album, and I'm so glad I went to it was a big ass collectible store in Harrison, Arkansas. That's right. Home, birthplace of the KKK. Yeah, that's right. But right downtown Harrison, they had this big ass collectible shop. Now, there was me, Doug Fields, and my buddy Grant. Grant almost bought that day. You ever had a record where you're like bouncing in your head going, "I want it. No, it's too much." He found a first press Velvet Underground and Nico, the banana, but only half the sticker was there. so it was half the banana, was still adhered to the LP. He never ended up getting it, but he was like tossing and turning on this. And so I'm looking through wire racks of albums, and I'm like, how much for the albums? $5 a piece. That's what the dude said. And I'm like, ooh, shit. There better be something really good in these things for me to grab for $5. Well, Doug got a really awesome, and I passed it over because I thought there was a deep scratch. It was a Jack Scott album on Top Rank. I love Jack Scott, very underrated, but I'm like, what the hell? And he bought it, and he cleaned that sucker out. It didn't even look like it. When he cleaned it, it looked bad. I'm like, son of a, but I ended up finding a white label promo of Flo and Eddie's Moving Targets, and I love that whole album.
I think that might be what like Mama Open Up is on. Let me look it up quick. Like, but that's that's an amazing track. Like,
but talk about, bearing your soul and being smarmy and humorous at the same time, talking about, once again, all the management and the agent fuckeries and everything. And that's what's on this album. It is a musical story, basically, of them being screwed. And it's catchy as shit. The Target track,
that's the opening track on Moving Targets. Mama Open Up. Like, amazing song. Like,
yep, that whole damn album. People, go get that. You will not go wrong. That album is a great album. But like Kev said, the first 4 are really good, but that's my favorite album. One of the best 5 books I spent in a long time. Yep. See, I know, Mike. He's got so much enthusiasm. It's great. That's why this is supposed to be. We're enthusiastic about what we.
No, wait. Who's got enthusiasm? Me?
Yeah, no. That's what Mike said.
No, I don't care about nothing.
I know Mike earlier in a thing. I can't get back up there. Something about, I don't know if that's sometime in New York City. 50th anniversary is coming out or not. I haven't heard peep about that. But he said something about hopefully an unaltered version. Let me see if I can get back up here a second. Here we go. This is what he said. Yeah, I heard about that shit. Frank was not happy about that.
No. Yeah, I don't know how that'll like work out. Because like the whole Zappa estate, like the kids have been like arguing for like the last like 10 years or so. I read somewhere that recently they solved like the whole like, thing. So
yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Mike asks, how many albums you own, Beans?
I probably only have like maybe 1,000 at the most.
That's a good number. I used to have 1,000, I'd say, truthfully, but I've probably, like I said, you can't take it with you, and
yeah.
We love this hobby, but it can get bulky. So it's like I'll either go off and give albums to friends, turn around and sell them or shit like that. I'm probably down to about maybe 600. I think I'd say I got 600 albums. Maybe.
Well, yeah, I just got back into vinyl about like 2.5 years ago. So, I mean, if you're talking like stuff I had in the 70s and 80s and early 90s, like, my God, I wish I had that shit back.
Oh, you're telling me, sir.
Yeah. We all have those collections we sold that we like regret like every day,
My first collection. Oh, the Beatles stuff. Oh my God. The Beatles things.
I had every Beatles like, American like mono and stereo album that I got like in yard sales in like 1981 for like 50 cents a piece, and Sam, like yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh God, Sam. I'm working on that. I know about this. I'm excited about this release. I have the original Capitol album, of course. I've got the Virachi Sandblade live in Japan CD, but with the remastering from the tapes, I really want to hear it. I cannot wait. I'm so back ordered on stuff. The Tanamount and the DJBH should be coming soon. I'll be pre-ordering that Mickey album. I can't remember the title. Desmodel. That's it. That'll be coming next. I think that's in late August. That's coming out. And I still keep hearing there's one more 7/8 thing. And you know what would be nice? Let's have some more Peter love, ladies and gentlemen. Not pedo Peter. Not pedo Peter, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, but Peter love. There is a lot of there's the CBGB live tapes. There's the 4 to 5 song Sire Records demo. Yeah. 1976. Peter cut a demo for Sire Records. I think it was 76, 77. Stuff never came out. I'm like, come on. You know what? Crank back out the Peter Tork Project, the 45 from 81, 82. I just want some. There's enough. There's enough for another Peter album. Because I loved that last one.
Yeah, like that's the big thing. Like 7A, I love everything they do. You know, like putting out all this stuff. But like Peter has been so underrepresented.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? Someone took a picture of the inside DJBH, and there looks to be a Davey solo. Oh. Okay. All right. I wonder what. You know what? We could do his MGM singles like we did with Mickey.
Yeah. Would love to have Rubberine out there again. Like that would be great.
White label promo. I bought it off eBay like about close to 10 years ago. And that song written by Alan O'Day, that's right, to go from Rubberine to Undercover Angel in a couple of years. Now, Kev, you've heard Rubberine. And to the people that haven't heard Rubberine, it's a song basically about a dude ordering a blow-up doll for the mail. But the backing, does it not sound like a song that would fit in a Rankin Bass cartoon?
Oh, totally. Yes.
Because that's the first thing I thought of when I heard this damn thing. And I'm laughing as I'm listening to it because I'm going, firstly, I can't believe Davey even, he must have gone, you must be joking. This song's about a blow it. You want a fucking hit or not? Well, I guess. Nope. That didn't work. And then, because I can't remember how many singles he did. I want to say only 2 or 3 for MGM, but I mean, there's 6.
Oh yeah, I think it was 2, maybe 3 at the most. Yeah, for MGM. Yeah. Like which seems they were going a little monkey crazy at that time because like they signed like Mickey and Davey, at that time. So.
And then of course, Mickey's Easy on You, produced and arranged by Peter Tork. Yeah, see, there you go. In 71, you've got, and Peter's on that record, supposedly, too. He plays something. So it's like you got half the month. There you go. 71 Monkeys. There's Mickey and Peter for you.
You know what? Like, I thought, like, Oh Someone was a great Mickey single. I love that song.
If I remember right, though, that Mickey MGM years was the first 7A product. And when I bought that thing, I fell in love with it. I'm like, my God, I said, this is a damn good. And I reached out to Ian and Glenn from that label. And I'm like, you guys put so much love and into this release. And it was great. And that's why I've supported him pretty much ever since. I have never come across a shitty 7A release. There is no such thing. I cannot say that about a lot of people. Let's see. I don't like that Boys album you got a while back.
Timothy.
Yeah. I'm telling you that I like most of that album. It was real good. I'm glad. I think I only spent $5 on that. And another $5. Steven Stills almost a month. Yeah, that's true. Boy, oh boy, I saw some of the list of people that auditioned. There was some strange stuff. And supposedly only after all these years came out that it's a very strong possibility that Peter Tork is one of the uncredited background singers on Love the One You With. So now I like that song even extra.
Yeah, I could totally see it. They were like huge friends, you know?
So I could fit right. You see, there you go. There you go. And yeah, that's okay. I remember, here's the thing. I remember seeing a pilot in 1970, and it got released once on German television. They tried to make P.U. Pinchloaf into like a kid's band, and it failed miserably. But the songs were great. Double Flush was the best sing. They should have put out a 45 on Double Flush. I don't understand why they didn't do that. And what was it? Kohler Blues, that's what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're telling me with the Nesvault, buddy.
Well,
there's a bunch of shit in there. And I mean a lot of good stuff.
Like originally, like the whole like Monkees project was supposed to be like it was an idea for like, you know, the Lovin' Spoonful to like, you know, have a series. You know,
and you know what is goofy? Okay, obviously Zal would have been the goofball, which I love Zal, yeah. Okay. But I mean, can you imagine in the credit, Zal, John, Joe, and Steve? It's like, no, it doesn't fucking work. And then a couple seasons later, and Jerry replacing Zal. No. This doesn't work. I love the Lovin' Spoonful. I do. They're good. I brought this up before. They're good time music. That's literally what it is. How can you frown at a fucking Spoonful song unless you're talking that last album, Revolution?
Oh yeah. After Sebastian was gone, yeah.
But I'm going back. It's like the only good track off of there. At least you got that. But anyways, I want to get. I have it on a CDR somewhere. I would love to get either an original Kama Sutra Zal solo or at least the 71 Buddha release of Zal's album, because that's a goofy album. There's some good stuff on it, but it's like the one that always cracked me up is if you ever saw the 45 picture sleeve to She's a Mystery. Okay. So Zal was already gone. Yes, Jerry Yester's in the band. So you see, there's some good sense of humor here. So you see all four of them in the front, but who's in the back of the picture that you intentionally see, like a little bit far back, is Zal poking his head out. And I'm going, what the hell? And like, I can't remember if Zal like had a shit-eating grin on his face or whatever, but I'm going, Spoonful Stalker. That's what he was on that.
Yes, Sam, that's a hard one. Like, I mean, I love the Spoonful. Like, I mean, like, they were like, as far as integrity, like a great like band, like wrote all their stuff in-house and all that stuff.
Yep.
But I would have to put the Turtles above the Spoonful as far as overall catalog, I think.
I wish I could have seen both of them live. The Turtles came to Fiesta Days, was the name of our town festival in the mid 80s. And I thought it was a fake band, to tell you the honest truth, because of course this is before the internet. I didn't know that they bought the rights to their name back. But after it said, like, I think it was like the day of the show, they changed the wording to the Turtles featuring Flo and Eddie. And I'm like, oh shit, it's them. And by then it was too late and I couldn't get out there. I wrote a song back in 86, 87, I want to say, is when they came out and did their show. And as far as for Lovin' Spoonful are concerned, I would have loved to have seen that. Now I have a complete original band signed. Do you believe in no Hums of the Lovin' Spoonful? I've got, and it was, I knew the person that I bought it from. Their sister got the autographs backstage when they performed. I can't remember if he said Little Rock or Texarkana, but so I have that album with original autographs. I only paid like $15 for that. I think that's pretty good. That's funny. What's that? No, that was the Monkey's Paw, not the Turtles. Right. And even though technically Kalen's still a turtle, but Ron Dante's been filling in for Howard. And you know what? That's good. Okay. At least Mark and Ron are doing their thing, and Ron can do his Archie stuff too. And that's all right. I like Ron Dante. That was kind of unexpected, but at least they kept it going. If I remember correctly, unless they've changed it in the last few months, and I really need to get on this, if you go to the Turtles official website, you can request a signed, I want to say it's a 5x7 postcard of Mark and Howard, and you can get it sent to you, I think for free or for like real dirt cheap, like $5. I would pull the trigger and do that because I do have a Mark and Howard autographed album, but it's not Turtles. I picked this up on eBay with proof of preference, at least photographed to me. The autographs came from the early O's, and they both signed the Zappa Live at the Fillmore LP. So from 71. So I've got Mark and Howard's autographs, as you know, for Flo and Eddie there. So I've got that at least. But all kinds of goodies, though, seriously. But yeah, Lovin' Spoonful. I mean, for many, many years, at least touring, it was Joe Butler, Steve Boone, and Jerry Yester. Even for a couple of years, Jim Yester from the Association showed up too. But I got Jerry Yester was the only one I ever met. And it was on my honeymoon, believe it or not, when I was married to Jess back in 2014, October 2014 in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. He played this little hole in the wall called, oh God, what was it? The Stone something. I can't remember what it was. Stonehouse in Eureka Springs, right downtown. And I remember when we were both going to go on the honeymoon, and I said, hey, honey, I said, you mind if we go into the Stonehouse maybe for a drink? Maybe have a small snack or something. And she looked at me right away and goes, all right, who's playing? She already knew me by then. And I'm like, all right. And I said, Jerry Yester, he was in the Lovin' Spoonful, Modern Folk Quartet. Blah, 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 blah. So she's like, sure, why not? You know, that's great. So we stuck around for a half an hour. She indulged me, okay? I don't know how she put up with my music nonsense sometimes. But I got her to be able to take a picture of me and Jerry, and I got him to sign the Everybody's Playing album and the Lovin' Spoonful Greatest Hits Volume 2, which was on for that. Well, flash forward to 4 years later. So October 2018. And I'm not bad mouthing somebody, okay? But this was put on the news. So this was factual. You can look it up, whatever. October 2018, it was getting to be almost our 4-year anniversary. And I was looking online in the morning, and the first thing I saw, it said Harrison, Arkansas, Jerry Yester arrested by the DEA. They found 30 images on his computer, and I'm going, shit. And so the next day, the Lovin' Spoonful fired Jerry Yester immediately and replaced him with somebody else. Now, Jerry, I'm told, after having the bout of COVID, that almost took him out, and he has been in rehab for his demons, we'll say. So he's slowly actually getting back to, he admitted that he boo-booed, and I think that's great. Any man that can go off, any man or woman that can go off and admit their sins and do something about it, kudos, okay? But that's the only person I ever met from the Spoonful. But I have been told that I think it's Steve Boone, Hotter Than a Match Head is the name of the book. It's supposed to be a very interesting read. Go to his website and you can get him to sign it too. So then you could have your own Spoonful autograph. My mother liked Spoonful, actually. Summer in the City was her favorite, of course, but I like all this stuff, all the singles, even the later stuff, like She's a Mystery, and the flip of that too. The TV appearance is weird. They start destroying shit. I don't remember what show it was either, but I'm like, what the? And it was so strange. But I guess even by then, Sebastian had enough, and that's why he went out on his own, which, that's fine. But that was the end of that bit.
Yeah, I'd like to say one thing to Sam St. John out there. There's a guy named A.A. Bondy. That's A.A.B.O.N.D.Y. He's a guy from Louisiana. He has an album that came out in 2009 called When the Devil's Loose. Listen to that. It's on YouTube. It's amazing.
A.A.
Great, like folk Americana. Yeah, A.A. Bondy.
Okay. You heard it here, kids. A.A. Bondy. Oh, are we going to see? Well, maybe not. I wish Shani Annie was around here. I did let her know that she wasn't really having a good day, though, unfortunately. I saw her earlier. No cat butthole. Sorry, babe.
No starfish tonight.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's right. I can't remember which one. I want to say it's Steve or Joe lives down in North Florida, because I want to say more Joe. Yeah. So, okay. Here's. Oh, yeah. Now, see, Herman's Hermits. God, what do you think, Kev? What do you think about Herman's Hermits?
Well, I love perfect pop, like perfection, like ear candy,
Right.
But Spoon is as far as artists, as far as a real band, Spoonful.
Yeah. I'd say, as goofy as it sounds, probably if my favorite Herman's Hermits song, as strange as it is No Milk Today. I don't know what it is about that song, but I just really like No Milk Today. I didn't get to go see this because this is where the slippery slope comes in. So Herman's Hermits featuring Peter Noon will get you your real article, but then there's the other Herman's Hermits featuring Barry Witham, that's who I have a signed 8x10 from, because they showed up at a county fair for $5 up in Wisconsin. And my buddy went and saw him, and he goes, "Hey, guess what? I got something for you." And he gives me the 8x10 with Barry's autograph on it. And I'm like, "Well, thank you. How surprising." And then, I don't know if you remember, but Carl Green, the bass player, came back for a couple of years in the last decade. He showed up out of nowhere, and he started actually performing a bunch of dates in Illinois, which lead me to think, hey, look who's coming up here. I haven't seen you in forever, Tyler. Ta-da!
Yeah. Same as always, nothing too exciting. Just figured I'd jump on. So.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. St. Augustine, huh? Okay. I kind of sort of half know what that is. Kevin Sam says, "What's that album called again?"
Yes, When the Devil's Loose by A.A. Bondy came out in 2009. I was actually I recently found Sam and subscribed to his channel, but I was trying to find him on Facebook and I couldn't because I wanted to tell him listen to this album. It's amazing.
Nice. So
you guys were talking about Herman's Hermits. They're another group that they towards the end of their original run, they tried to do more of their own stuff, and there was a lot of. I've read that the guitar player, I can't remember his name, the guy with the glasses, was always upset that they used session players on the records because they were a good live band. If you listen to Blaze, they wrote most of the stuff on it. It's a pretty solid record. But that's another one of those groups where it's just you try to tell someone about it. I have the same issue with the Knack. I am a Knack fanatic, but I can't even start the conversation with people without hearing about My Sharona or with Herman's Hermits, Henry VIII. And it's just if you just go beyond that little bit, there's so much more great stuff,
Tyler, go get. I did an episode on this on Psycho Platter way year or two back. Go get that Doug Feiger 3 CD anthology from Sunset Boulevard Records.
I need to. I got that double live album for Record Store Day. It's good.
Oh, I didn't know that they put a live Knack for. Do you remember? Was that during their late 70s?
Much later. It was 2001. It was a couple months after 9/11. It was recorded at the record release show for their last album, Normal Is the Next Guy. So, yeah, it was good, though. You still got it. I mean, Doug's voice is getting a little worn out, but I mean, he was getting older anyway, so.
Yeah. Mike says, didn't the Knack only do 2 albums? No, sir. They did a couple. They did, let's see, Get the Knack.
But the Little Girls Understand.
Oh, right. and Round Trip, which is amazing.
Yeah,
Round Trip is their crowning jewel.
Here's we'll get there. After that, they did a reunion album in 91 called Serious Fun. And then they did another album in 98 called Zoom. That is the hidden gem in their catalog. If you've never listened to Zoom, you gotta. It's great.
Yeah, Terry Bozzio on drums. I mean, come on.
I think
Missing Persons, Frank Zappa. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I remember, what was it? Rocket of Love. They used to play that on the radio where I was from, and I'm going, ooh, who the hell is it?
Yeah.
That's the new one from the Knack. I'm like, what the fuck? The Knack are back?
Yeah. Serious Fun is a great album.
It's heavier, which the first time I listened to it kind of caught me off guard a little bit. But I mean, still them. I was at an antique store, and I saw they had a Knack promo picture, but it was from the Serious Fun era, which is weird. Of all things to see that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Give me a minute or two. You guys talk amongst yourselves, please.
Oh, okay.
But talking about we had the Flo and Eddie discussion earlier. Yeah. Flo and Eddie show up on Round Trip.
Really?
Yeah, they do the backing vocals on "Radiating Love," the opening track. Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that. That's cool.
They do that whole "This is your picture postcard, your grand illusion."
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I love the Knack. Like yeah,
It's
they
just
they took off and crashed and burned, and like I was like,
yeah.
what a
Just
what a band! Like,
I agree. Just top tier each thing. Like the energy and the beat they had. I can't think of anything else quite like it. Like I love power pop stuff, but like there's nothing else quite like that.
no, like, and they were like in 78, 79, like they were playing like clubs in LA, and like Springsteen, Tom Petty played with them. Like everybody wanted to be around this band because they were so good, you know?
Right. Yeah, just crazy. I was listening to an interview that the bass player did with some YouTuber. I can't remember who it was, but somebody asked if he thought that they would last longer if they had survived till MTV hit. And that's an interesting thought because, like, if they could have gotten like a video on MTV, would that have done better? I mean, there were like promos for some of the early stuff, but like music video wasn't a thing, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like, maybe. But like they were talking about by that point, like when things started to go downhill, like Doug started going nuts. Like there was talks to even like replace him and stuff, which is kind of crazy. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if the whole like MTV era would have saved them because like I mean, but by the time that came around, like I mean that kind of like power pop thing, like to be honest, like a really good power pop band at that point like was not a big seller, and here they were with like number one album, number one single, so they were kind of like an anomaly as far as like
Sure.
but yeah, but they were amazing.
You ever listen to the Paul Collins beat?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's another one. I had Get the Knack and the first Beat album, and I just played them back and forth for months. Like, never get tired of that. I actually saw Paul Collins once. I didn't know who he was at the time. In Pittsburgh, there's a indie record label called Get Hip Records, and the guy would host. The guy who ran it would have like bands come in and play at the Get Hip warehouse. One of them was Paul Collins. I didn't know who he was, but later I picked up that album. I'm like, holy crap! I should have paid more attention. This guy's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, like the whole like Paul Collins beat, and I mean there are so many like really great like power pop bands like people have never heard of,
Yeah,
I mean they know Big Star, they know like the Raspberries,
Here's one. You ever hear of a group called the Wigs?
I think I've heard of them. I don't think I've ever heard their music.
So I find everything backwards. The guy Marty Ross, he ended up being one of the New Monkeys. But before that, he was in this group from Milwaukee called the Wigs. The album's called File Under Pop Vocal. It's like outlines of them in front of like a orange and white checkerboard. If you ever see that album, get it. It's awesome. They did a 40th anniversary reunion show a couple years ago. It was incredible.
Who did a 40th anniversary show?
The Wigs. That was
okay.
Yeah, I went out to go see it. That was Marty Ross's group before the New Monkeys.
Right.
Yeah. We were talking about power pop groups while you were gone.
Nice.
Yeah.
When duty calls. Nah, that's what happened.
He said duty.
Yep. Oh man, did you find anything interesting lately, Tyler?
Record wise,
Sure.
Trying to think. I'm drawing a total
Or
blank
Kev.
right now. Oh, I picked up
No.
a CD of Styx's Edge of the Century. I'd never seen that before.
Ah,
on
yes,
vinyl?
yes.
No, I wish it was a CD.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I've never seen a copy on vinyl. They say they did it. I'm like,
It does.
never saw one.
I'm sure they did, but I'm sure it's very limited in numbers.
And probably only released somewhere in Europe, because that's like the thing with those later ones.
Yeah. I remember reading some kind of story that, speaking of Styx for 2 seconds, that in 92, so after that album came out and then the 91 tour, which by the way, it wasn't a bad album, but you could tell certain things were missing. But I liked Love is a Ritual. Okay. I remember hearing that on the radio, but then the DJ goes, and that's the new one from Styx. I'm going, wait a minute, is Dennis gone? That was the first thing I thought. I'm like, did they get rid of Dennis? Which, of course, I didn't know about Glenn Burtnick, who I like his stuff too. But so after the tour and everything, they were in the head dude for A&M out in the West Coast or some shit. Okay, so 92 you're talking. And they had half of a second album worked up, and they were called into the office, so to speak. So they were going to try to pitch this next record, and then the guy, the A&M exec, had to step a minute, and somebody in the band was a little snoopy and discovered a termination contract for A&M for Styx. So they basically walked out of the meeting. That's how they knew.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but look, 3 years later after that, they put out that Hits, and A&M obviously were like, hey, Recut Lady.
Yeah, come on back. Like, re-sing this song for us here, yeah.
Because wasn't that in a Volkswagen ad around that time frame? I could have.
No, that was Mr. Roboto. They put on that, right?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I remember seeing Mr. Roboto like as an ad for something. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Honestly, like my knowledge of my knowledge of Styx kind of like ends like after Edge of the Century. I never really followed it after that. I should, but
see, and that's the thing. It's like, I mean, I'm glad that they tried to come back, but like I said, it was obviously a big part missing, Tommy. Right. But obviously it just wasn't meant to be. See, and so the thing is, and hello there, Jim from St. Louis. Greetings from St. Louis. The only Styx related item that I have signed, go figure, is a complete band signed for, well, one of the biggest turd albums ever did, Cyclorama. Cyclorama. I tried. They played for 2 seconds. What the hell was that single off of that? I'm not kidding. It maybe only got played twice and it never got played on the radio. And we're talking Chicagoland radio here. And I'm like, it didn't work. And I was just like, But then again, saying that, I remember, I still don't even have this in my collection. The one, Brave New World from '99. I've heard it. It's okay. It's not great.
But it's better than Cyclorama and taking it.
Right. I'll tell you, I lost my faith in that band until the mission.
The slider. There we go.
All right. Oh. Yep. And somebody else gets where the name comes from. Yep.
Love Mark Bolan. Like,
hell
wow.
Yeah.
Like, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
See, and I think part of the I used to have that as like, I have that as like my username on all the like apps I use, like my gamer tag on PlayStation is the slider. I think the reason I picked that was because like every time I'd look up T-Rex and Mark Bolan, everybody would talk about Electric Warrior all the time. And I just preferred the Slider album over it. So I just picked it for that reason.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, I love everything Mark Bolan did. Like, I mean, from the John's Children stuff, like all the way through to like Dandy and Underworld, like great stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
They're still doing CDs, Jim, but which I'm glad because there's my price alternative. I'm sorry, I can't afford $25 to $35 a pop for every record I want to buy that's brand new, that a new album. I can't do it. At least with CDs, you're looking at 10 to 15. I'm like, that's more reasonable.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, first. Yeah, like I got back into vinyl like 3 years ago, and it's like, I'm kind of getting priced right out of the whole thing because
honestly, for me,
ridiculous.
I very rarely buy like new sealed stuff. Like for me, I go around and I go to like antique places or thrift stores or something, and I find something and I grab it, and it's kind of just like the adventure of it, really, for me. But like even used stuff is getting up there ridiculous for certain things. I'm just kind of glad most of the stuff that I'm looking for nobody's ever heard of. So, it's not so bad. I'm just glad I'm not after anything that the Beatles did, because anything Beatles is stupid expensive no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, although like I did get about like 10 months ago, like the 4 LP White Album reissue.
Yeah, well,
with the remix and like the Escher demos for like $49.
Yeah,
which I thought was all right.
Right, that's a new release with a set price.
Yeah.
Like that's fine. Yeah, it's just like I'm not paying. Okay, you want to hear something absurd? I was at this antique store 2 weeks ago, and they had a couple Beatles albums, and one of them, and I'm not kidding, it was the Help soundtrack, and it had a $150 price tag on it. Are you freaking kidding me? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's like I've said before. Like I've gone to like antique malls and seen copies of Revolver where like all 3 sides were split open, so it looked like it was a gatefold, but it's not. For like $75, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
like,
that place is always expensive. Like they have like a thing where they have like rare stuff behind a case, behind glass. And they had, I'm not kidding, this is real, a chipped 78 RPM copy of Rock Around the Clock. They had a $95 price tag on it. Forget it.
How nuts.
I know. And it's been there for years. You'd think they'd learn.
Well, like, yeah, and the most ridiculous thing I ever found is somebody was selling a copy of the Flying Burrito Brothers Gilded Palace of Sin for $195. I'm like, really? I'm like, that's I'm like, that's insane.
That's stupid shit.
Crazy. Yeah.
I don't know if I remember ever seeing anything really stupid crazy. Not in the vinyl front. The CD front was kind of interesting because somebody had a still sealed $99.99 price tag on the 2 CD Dave Clark 5, the the 50 songs on Hollywood Records. That one release that came
out. The history of the great, Dave Clark 5. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. So I'm like, I ain't paying $100 for this shit as much as I want it. Well, then I went back the next week. Okay. So remember I told you there was a still sealed $99.99. I go through the CD racks, the normal stuff, found a damn copy of that thing. Wasn't still sealed. It was beautiful. What was the price? $12.99. I'm like, you're damn right. I'm pulling the trigger on this shit. Yeah. And so I have that. And then what was it? Maybe a couple months later, boy, do I miss Hastings. And anybody knows from the central states of the country here, Hastings was a nice, interesting chain store of used and new. And in the 99-cent CD bins, oh my God, I found on Warner, I think it was Warner Music. It was a 25 hit best of in stereo, real stereo, some of the Dave Clark 5, including an extra unreleased song for 99 cents. I'm like, that's crazy because
that's good, especially because you guys all know about how Dave Clark handled managing all that. Like, there's not that many greatest hits things released.
There's nothing like he did like that Hollywood Records thing, and then like some streaming stuff in the last few years. But like,
I was going to say the albums.
He has almost completely erased his band from public memory with the way he handles things.
Now in January, they did put out a new one, a new comp. I don't remember the name of the title, but it came out in January, if I remember correctly. You guys will have to look it up on Amazon or whatever. But yeah, there's a new one. All they did, they kept the same tunes as Warner Electric. They just changed the cover.
Oh, weird.
Excuse me, and keep going.
Yeah, I know that there's some weird exclusive Dave Clark 5 albums I've never been able to find. Like, there's an instrumental one that only ever came out in Canada, and then there's two that only ever came out in the UK. But the rest, I think, all got American versions, as far as I know. So what's it like? Dave Clark and Friends. I've never seen that one.
Yeah, that's wow. Yeah, that was pretty much like after the band broke up. It was just him and Mike Smith.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And let's talk about Mike Smith. What a great rock singer he was.
Absolutely. He had an album in the 70s with another guy. What was that? Smith and... I've read about it. It never came out in the U.S. either. It was like 76. Smith and Ado something. I don't remember. But
yeah, like I remember what band he's from, but like
I've read that that's good, but I've never seen it.
But yeah, like Mike Smith was amazing. Like bits and pieces, Glad All Over, Any Way You Want It, like
for sure.
Like almost like proto-punk type stuff, you know?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Trying to think of other. What do you think about the Animals?
Oh, love the Animals.
Both groups.
Well, that's one of those things where it's like, there's the original group and there's like these guys,
Yeah.
With one guy,
True. I I like some of the second band stuff, like the the Twain Shall Meet album is really cool, but the other ones they kind of drag. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, like San Franciscan Nights, like that. That's a great single. Like that. Love that. But a lot of people don't realize that, like, Andy Summers from The Police was like in the late period Animals.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Andy Summers was the guitar player in like the last like 2 Animals, like Eric Burden and the Animals, like albums from the 60s.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's funny. The newest Gold Mine that came out, they were interviewing Summers, and that they touched on that.
Yeah. Yeah, he was an Animal for a while.
Yep. Nah. I don't know. Am I in the minority here that I really wish that the Police would get back together for at least 2 or 3 songs? I want to hear if they still got anything in the tank.
I don't know enough about the Police to comment, so I'll sit this one out.
I think they like did everything they had to do like 15 years ago, you know? Like tie up the loose ends and stuff.
Guys, I'm going to have to wrap this up. I've got a family call I have to make. I just saw this. But I really enjoy this. It's been a little while. But I want to thank everybody out there. I know I'm almost at like 2 hours, 46 minutes we went. This is great. I love when we can engage and react and stuff. And at one point or another, we got to like 18 people in here today, which was another nice thing. I was joking around. I said, I don't know when Mayo's broadcast ended. As Rusty, maybe that's why it's like, hey, go and see this, go and see the idiot psycho here. But I just want to say thanks for everybody on being able to be here. Thanks, Jeff, and of course Kev and Tyler, and hopefully maybe I'll have another one in about a week. Hopefully, maybe with some. I'll show some success from the David Kirshner signing and meet and greet that I'll get to. And we'll talk about some other music stuff down the pipe. I'm hoping to my Journey album better show up, damn it. Talk Shop Live. I don't know what's going on, but I should have already had that. I got the signed vinyl insert, you know.
Is that
Paul, like if you're a big like David Koechner fan, like check out like Run Ronnie Run. It's free on YouTube. It's a great movie.
I'll just check
Ronnie Run shit.
On that. Yeah. Like I said, I've got what I got. I got Anchorman. I've got Thank You for Smoking. I've got something else too. And then who's going to show up the week after is Tim Meadows at the same club, but unfortunately all those tickets are sold out, so chances are I'm not going to be able to meet him. But I'm going to go try to talk to my buddy, the owner of the club, and go, please, because I've got some Tim Meadows stuff too. And if I can grab a copy of Semi-Pro, if you remember that Will Ferrell movie, both of them are in that movie, so it'd be funny to get both of them to sign that one. But yes, so thank you, Kevin, Tyler, Jeff, Peanut Gallery here. It's always great. I miss you guys, and I really love you guys too. I hopefully, you know, after the next couple weeks, the health stuff will maybe subside, and maybe I'll get on here a lot more. But when I can get on here, it's a treat for everyone involved, especially for me.
It's always great. Yeah,
for sure.
Well, listen, guys, take care. God bless. Rock on. And whoever's got a stream next, jump over there. Go have some fun on that one. Till then, take care, guys.
All right. Catch you guys later.
All right.